It's time for Shawn and Maya in the morning.
Quick pitch to Walter, looking for the record, cuts back, he's got it, he's out of it at 25 to the 26-yard line. Walter Payton becomes the National Football League all-time leading rusher. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Chicago has won the Stanley Cup. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it, go to Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday. It's the weekend, baby. Yes, the Friday edition, the TGI Mickey Ficky Friday. Man, I'm telling you, I am fired up. It is going to be a great day, a great weekend. It's going to be started off or continued with a great show. Guys, I'm your boy, the Superback Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. Listen. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. Now, you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at SM_mornings, at SM_mornings, or you can tweet us at SportsZone Shy, that's CHI, at SportsZone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me, personally online, want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. Want to know what I did? Here's what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, the Snapper. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at The Sports Chica. If you want to do it just for the gram because you're an Instagrammer, you love the IG, you can just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. Man, we have a great show for you, and I am fired up about it. I'm going to bring on our producer, not right now, a little bit. He's working on some last-minute stuff, so I'll bring him out in a little bit. We got a great show for you, but I need you to get interactive with us today, so here's what you need to do. If you're watching this on Facebook Live, then what I need you to do is leave a question or comment right there on the page or the post, and our producer, our Puerto Rican Swiss Army knife himself, Ivan Vargas, will bring it up and put it on the screen as long as it's not dumb. Okay? Now, if you're watching this on the app, and you know what, download the app, right? We have an app that's free $99, so you don't have to worry about it costing anything and a recurring monthly bill. It's free $99, so don't worry about it. Go wherever you get your apps from, Google Play, iTunes, Amazon, wherever you get your apps from. Go there, download it. You can take us with you on the go. You can check out all of our live shows, which we have some phenomenal live shows. You can check out some of our the rest of our podcasts. We have some really good podcasters too. So you can check us out anywhere you go. But listen, when I said I got a great show, I was not bull jiving. 10 o'clock, you know, he's sitting in the wing. He's sitting in the room, in the green room. He's ready to come on. He's bouncing around. He's warmed up. He's got a little sweat, getting a little lather going, ready to come out. You know, Joe Phillips is coming up. He's from the Chicago Crusader, and he joins us every morning from 9 to 10 in the top of the morning segment. So he's getting ready to come out in a moment. But at 10 o'clock, he hands the baton off to our guy, Kenneth Davis from the Davis Show. He's going to call in, and he's going to take us that next level. And then at 10:55, kind of a little crossover with Kenneth Davis and Jason Palmer, the last pass of the baton. And Jason's going to sit in with me from the 11 to 12 o'clock hour because at 11 o'clock, our guy, Lauren Cox, he is the host of the Locked On Bears podcast. He also writes for the Bears Wire as well. He's going to call in. We have a little football to talk today. Whew. Did I tell you we had a great show? Was I bull jiving? Or was I bull jiving? No, I wasn't bull jiving. Well, guys, you know how we do. Let's get it started. Let's kick it off. Let's get it. Man, we need a little Black Eyed Peas. Let's get it started. Yeah. Anyway, you know how we do the first segment of every show. It's called Top of the Morning to You, and these are the hot topics of the night before, just some sports in general. And boy, oh boy, do we have some doozy. You know what? The Top of the Morning segment is powered by the Chicago Crusader. And with that, I want to bring in my mans, the one, the only. He is the sports editor over at the Chicago Crusader. You can find him on Twitter at ACA Joe. Guys, let's bring in Joseph Phillips. Joseph, what's up, Papa?
Good morning, Papa. God bless. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm great. Man, I had a
bad.
phenomenal workout this morning. Man, phenomenal CrossFit workout this morning. I was rolling, boy, rolling.
Oh wow! I know you feeling that. Hey, nothing like a good workout in the morning. I miss my high school and college days because in high school I used to have to get up at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, go to basketball practice, stink up the gym. Yeah, I'm talking about smell wise. I was finishing first in all my drills. You know, first one in the shower, last one out. You know, I mean, like, that was my life as an athlete. And then in college, it was pretty much self-governance. Like, if your trainer gave you something to do, you had to accomplish that goal because it will show up in conditioning drills.
Oh, man. Yep. Man, it was a great workout this morning. I'm telling you, I was fired up. It was a partner workout today at CrossFit. So we had a crazy amount of reps we had calories on the row. We had wall balls. We had burpee box jumps, and we had kettlebell swings. So me and the partner had to alternate. So it was like, all right, let's get it in. So I was like, you know what, let's break it up. Let me do 15, you do 15. I do 10, you do 10. So it was like boom, 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 boom. So I was able to go 100%, like literally all out 100% for only 10, 15 reps. But it wasn't too bad. And my partner did it, and they were able to go. And then I was still okay. I wasn't too tired. I finished up. Man, it was a great workout. And I'm gonna nap like a son of a gun after the show. But now I'm still full of energy.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Last question I wanted to ask you before we move on to the segment. Have you guys ever worked out to Rocky 2 movie, like the Rocky 2 workout scene?
All the time.
Yeah, my son and I.
All the time.
Yeah, my son and I worked out to that. And one day I had a headache, and I turned on the Rocky training regimen. I played the music in the background, man. It was so fun. I've
done that before. Back when CDs were in vogue, back in the 90s. And in college, where we'd have the we had a CD, we had to move the system in the weight room. We would we put that in. They had the montage, and man, ain't nothing like it. You know what? I'm gonna tell my CrossFit guys to get all those good songs from the Rocky ones, put them all together, because we can download it. They can download it and do that stuff. So have that for the,
Make sure you give them no easy way out. No easy way out.
Oh heck no! Oh no, man. Because that reminds me of running the snow. He's dealing with the Russians. He's running the snow. Yeah, Drago.
Let's go.
Oh man, that's one of my favorite songs of the whole Rocky. Selection, all 47 movies of it. That's That's probably my. I don't know if that's my favorite song because I still love Eye of the Tiger. No Easy Way Out. Hearts on Fire. That's another crazy one. That's what
No Easy Way Out would make you cry, man, because there's no getting around that obstacle. You got to go through it, man.
It is. That's exactly it. There's no easy way out. You got to go through through the pain, through the struggle, through the agony, everything, man. So yeah, it's it's Flashback Friday, so I got my little Princess Leia shirt on. Princess Leia job.
I can't watch that. I can't watch. You gonna get me in trouble?
Hey, don't worry, man. I'm that dude. All my friends blame it on Shawn.
My wife in the back, man. You gonna get me in trouble.
All right, blame it on me, bro. I'm the dude that I'm the single friend that everyone blame. All they're married or they involved guys. They blame their one friend. I'm the dude. It's okay. It's more room on the bandwagon, bro. Like, it's Shawn's fault. It's okay. I'll take that heat, Bob. I got you. I'll take that heat.
I ain't taking that.
I got you. I'll take that heat for you. I'll take all that heat. Don't worry. Well, hey, guys, you know how we do the first segment of every show. It's called Top of the Morning. These are the hot topics of the night before. And man, oh man, do we have some doozies. My goodness. Let me tell you something. You may have your team. Okay, guys? You may have your team, whoever it is. You may be a Cub fan, maybe a Sox fan, but you've got to love what's going on the South Side, all right? I hated it, but I did. I gave mad respect when the Cubs were coming up in 15. Okay, because I didn't even dislike the Cubs. It was the fans that I disliked. But the team, man. You have Javi Baez come up. You have Javi Baez, you had Addison Russell, and then Bryant and Rizzo and Jay Hay and Schwarber. All those guys that you had back then, it was the beginning of something, and you knew it. And you knew it.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like that for us now on the South Side. All right, the White Sox yesterday pummeled the Kansas City Royals. Kansas City wanted to get a little smart and get a little close, and Luis Robert was like, "Hold on, player, hold on, player, man." Let me tell you something. They pummeled the Kansas City Royals 11-6 yesterday. Dylan Cease gets the win, 5 innings, four hits, 3 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 1 punch out on 96 pitches. But I'll tell you what, the moment of the game. The moment of the game was when Luis Robert came up. First of all, Edwin Encarnacion, he belts this thing was a goner. It was 446 feet, and there was no doubt. He hit that thing, and he just watched it. And the pitcher's just like, damn. But then as they drew closer, there were 2 guys on. Luis Robert comes up, and he destroys this baseball. It was a slider. It's a slider that didn't slide very well.
Flat in the zone.
It was hanging in there, and man, my man put a hurting on that baseball. 458 feet, I believe. It just out 12 feet further than Edwin Encarnacion's. My man, dude, this kid is a 23-year-old rookie, and you know what? He looks like a rookie at times,
right?
Okay? But then he looks like a freaking superstar the other times. It's feast or famine with this kid, and this kid is only 23 years old. Wait until he gets it. Wait until the light turns on, because the light hasn't even turned on with this kid. Wait till that was a big. I was fired up yesterday with an 11-6 victory, Sox over the Royals.
Yes, Luis Robert is like that. What most of us say, country strong. You know.
Yeah. Heck yes.
He got that farm strength, that old country boy strength. You know, that down south strength. But he just got a little what's that Cuban Dominican flavor mixed in there. You know, he's still a brother at the end of the day. But hey, that man is country strong. And then in addition to that, I've been predicting the Sox, man. Like I said, they still my pick to click. Just to represent the American League in the World Series. So I'm not surprised at all. Like I was telling you guys on Wednesday's show, I believe the time is now. You know, you guys got that stacked lineup, that murderer's row, that 27 Yankees. You know, I'm not going to compare and contrast that, but I'm saying with the potential from top to bottom, you know, you guys can break Major League Baseball records based on average and based on home runs and hits.
You know, we're leading the way in a lot of offensive categories in the American League. But as I was talking a few moments ago, man, listen to this, okay? It was in the 7th inning, and they had drawn pretty close. The Royals did, and Jimenez reached on a single. Grandal singles, Jimenez a third, Abreu singles. All right, Grandal goes to second, Encarnacion was hit by a pitch. Abreu goes to second. Moncada hits a sacrifice fly, and Luis Robert comes to the plate, and he does this.
Front of the Royals Hall of Fame. Sir with 5 in the top of the 7th.
I tell you what, he demolished that ball. Demolished that ball. Oh my goodness! It went into the stairs. It almost went down the exit ramp.
Right. It almost landed in the Kansas City, Missouri River over there.
You know, Jason Benetti. Jason Benetti on the call says, he goes, that one might cross state lines.
Right. Hey, that reminds, you know what that reminds me of? You remember Schwarber in 2015 against St. Louis? And the announcer was like, ball is long gone on the scoreboard. Oh, how did he get there? You know, like it was just shocked. Like, whoa, we never seen this before. And it just landed there. So Luis Robert has that type of power, man. You guys, didn't he break a light before? Didn't he?
In the minors.
Yeah, didn't he bust a lot? Like I call him the natural.
Yeah, just like the natural. Yep.
I mean, he busting out light bulbs. That's why I knew it was over for major league pitchers when I saw that.
You know, I think Jason Benetti goes overboard sometimes. But there was one thing he said, one description of a home run that Luis Robert had a couple of weeks ago, that was so apropos that it may sound corny, but it was the most appropriate, most apropos description of Luis Robert. He hits this home run, and I had said this about Luis Robert last year when we started seeing him hit home runs. It just sounds different, bro.
Yeah,
it just sounds different coming off that bat. And when he hit that, he's like, "That's cannon fire."
Yeah,
like, yeah, that's right. That's about right, because let me tell you, the sound that makes when it comes off of his bat. So I'm watching the game yesterday, and Mom's is on the couch. I'm on the recliner, and I'm like, man, I said, I just need Luis Robert to park one, man. I just need Luis Robert to park one. It'll give us some breathing room, all right. And because we just got 2 runs, but I'm like, this will open it up, okay? And I can stop watching the game and go do what I had to do,
right?
So I'll feel comfortable.
Right.
As soon as he hit it, I heard it. I'm like, that's it. I'm gone. I said, game over. Game over. I'm like, there it is. There it is. Man, chest popped out. Like, oh yeah. So tell you what, it was a great thing. We're gonna talk a little more baseball toward the end of the show. But we got to keep moving, keep it moving. You know how they talk about, guys. Cubs yesterday fall to the Pirates 6-2. Mills had a rough day on the bump yesterday. He got the loss. He's 3-3, 5 innings, seven hits, 4 runs, all earned, a walk, 2 punch outs. But the scary part of the day came when Ian Happ fouled the ball off the ground and bounced up, hit him in the eye.
Wow!
Hit him in the right eye, and he was taken off, and he was taken back to get X-rays. Luckily for him, Ian Happ, and the Cubs, not just him, but the X-rays were negative. Right. And it's a really big sigh of relief for the Cubs, because let me tell you something. Ian Happ leads the Cubs in batting average,
yes,
hits,
OPS,
doubles, RBIs, OPS, and is tied for the home run lead. So if he's out, there goes that offense. There goes in that first place. The hold you have on first place gets really, really, really shaky right now. Because right now the Cubs are 3.5 games in front of the St. Louis Cardinals, so they start a 4-game set with. But the fact that it's just a bruise over the right eye, good stuff.
Yeah, and he's been our top player all season, our most consistent player. And I was watching the game the other day, and I'm like, wow, this man is leading in all categories. I mean, I think he's like tied in doubles or something like that. I think so. I think
it was batting average, hits, singles, hits, doubles, ribbies, walks, OPS, and he's tied for home run.
Wow.
Third top chimed in. Happ is a top 10 in WAR this year.
Wow. So he's an MVP candidate. At
this point,
yep. Yeah, at this point, he's an MVP candidate, because if you smashing all across the board like that, you putting your name in those discussions in those categories. And I'm proud of Ian Happ for making his necessary adjustments. He's suffered. He's been down the minors. He knows what the struggle is about. And I think he's finally starting to grow up and make that decision that, hey, I don't ever want to experience that again. And then in addition to that, the thing that I'm concerned about with him being hit in the eye like that, I hope he doesn't change his approach, because when you're hot like that, there's a certain confidence level that comes with that. You're pretty much locked in. You got a graph on how you want to spread the ball around the field. You can go single, double, triple. You can take this pitch and knock it over the fence. What I'm saying is that he's in that hitter zone right now, where he's not just a 250 average hitter. He's in the 300s now. So shout out to Ian Happ. get well soon. I hope that injury don't slow down your progress. And hopefully, like I said, we can get him back in that lineup. And then this can push other guys to step up like a Chris Bryant, etc.
Next top of the morning topic, the Cardinals. The Cardinals come to town tonight, tonight for a 4-game set. For a holiday weekend set, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Yu Darvish is on a bump today for the Cardinals. I'm not sure who's pitching tomorrow as a TBD. Was it 5 games in 4 days this weekend, and so it's a little crazy. So tomorrow's a doubleheader. Adam Wainwright pitches for the Cardinals in game 1 for TBD. Game 2, both pitches are TBD, to be determined for those who don't know what TBD means. That's Saturday. Then Sunday, John Lester goes against the TBD for them. And then Monday, the professor goes against TBD for them. 5 games, 4 days. This can really, I'll tell you what, if you win 4 out of the 5, that's a 3-game increase.
Right.
Then guess what? You guys will, you will definitely, that'll be a 6.5 game lead in the division. And things are looking pretty good.
Right. And what you're about to see tonight is playoff baseball. That's what you're about to see. You're about to see playoff baseball. And now you're seeing the Cardinals pulling out all their big guns. Because whenever you're seeing TBD across, they let you know that we're not going to show our hand, period. So whoever we feel that we need to match you up with to win this game, because every game is counting, and we know if we win these next 4 games, we can get back in first place. Just like that. They also know that if they lose these next 4 games, they'll be 7.5 games back or close to 8 games back. And this is a make or break. This is the series of the year right now that's about to take place. In the Cubs, I know after yesterday losing to Pittsburgh with the bad pitcher performance by Alec Mills, but our rotation is being set back in place. No matter who they throw out there, we have to go out there with killer instinct and put this game away. This is very similar to what Ivan and I spoke about in the last Cardinals series, where you lose 3 games, they're right back in it. You see what I mean? So we have to take that, not just that same approach, but we got to treat this like this is a first round playoff series, and we're trying to eliminate them, period.
Here's where David Ross is going to earn his managerial check. If you can get these guys to come out with let's go back to it, the eye of the tiger, okay? Yeah. If he can get them to come out and feel threatened and say, hey, listen, this is a dangerous series. You need to come out on the attack. There's no if you flip the script and say, hey, listen, they're about to do something, they win all these games, guess what? We're looking up at them in the division. Okay. They need to have a sense of urgency.
That's
okay?
Right.
When you're it's a tough deal. When you're the hunter, you have the motivation, okay, because you're trying to get something. When you're the hunted, you need to find motivation, okay? And the motivation here is, here's a chance where here's what good teams do. If we can put you away, we'll put you away. Okay, we don't let you hang around. Great teams do that. What they do, they step on your neck, and this is why what teams will do is they'll say, we don't take our foot off their necks, off their throats. Okay, because what that does, that sends a message to everybody else. It sends a message to everybody else.
That's right. Killing
when people see you, they're like, damn, the Cubs aren't playing. Like, they're up 3 and they come in and swept a 5-game set. A 5-game set with the Cardinals. It lets everybody else know the Cubs are in playoff mode and they're serious this year.
Right. Killer instinct. And we got a chance to make them, this is just like how the Sox had their turning point against us, like making a name for themselves against us, their coming out party. This series has to be our coming out party. Like, we're going to put all batting averages aside. We're going to put all the bad play, the inconsistency that we've been experiencing over the past 2 weeks aside. We gotta be like Game 7 ready. Even though I'm talking as a fan and as a sports enthusiast, but there has to be, like you said, a sense of urgency. Just like I always say with the White Sox, there has to be a sense of urgency in that locker room to know that we got a chance to put these guys away. They've been a thorn in our flesh, not just for the past 4 or 5 years, but pretty much for the past 60, 70 years. You see what I mean? So, you know, they have World Series championships. They have over 5 or 6 of them. Was 11? How many do they have? 11? I don't know the number in that, but they're like second to the Yankees, right? They're like the Yankees of the National League. So my thing is, whenever we're playing the Cardinals, we have to have this killer instinct, this no mercy, this I smell blood in the water like a shark. It's time to put them away. You see red, you see blood. And that's the mentality they have to finish out this series.
They do. And as I said, this will go a long way in dealing with or in determining David Ross. Okay. You have, David Ross needs to get these guys ready. He's got to get they've won 11 World Series. In your question about the Cardinals. Okay. David Ross, if he does this will be one of the things that I point to, because if the Cubs, even if they win 4 out of 5, okay, because then that's a 3-game jump.
Right.
You'll add 3 games. You get a 3-game cushion in the division. If they win 4 out of 5, or God willing on your side, they sweep, then you can look. I think right at that particular point, David Ross becomes manager of the year in the shortened season. I think it does, because you take a team that misses the playoffs the year before, and even in the shortened season, you get them into first place, but then you get them in a situation where this series can put you in second, maybe even third, depending on how the Brewers do. Okay, after Monday. Okay, or it can separate you from the rest of the pack, from everybody else. And
right.
If you get your team ready and to separate from the rest of the pack, man, David Ross it'll be solidified that he was definitely the guy for this job.
And normally the Cubs fail in these type of situations. I'm just gonna be honest. Like when the heat is on like this, normally we don't match their intensity. It's just like with that White Sox series, we didn't match the Sox intensity. Sox came in and was like, "Oh, we about to make a statement." Plain and simple. We don't care if y'all ready or not. I don't care if it's hurt, whatever. The Cardinals are coming in with the same mentality. But I still have yet to see the Cubs counter that, matching that energy, just like on a basketball court. You know how teams can come out, smack you in the mouth, boom. Mm-hmm. You're like, wait. We can't allow them to be the aggressor. We have to set the tone. No matter how high their energy is, we have to go higher. So that's the mentality. I don't know who's going to be that fired up guy. Chris Bryant needs to get his act together. I don't know what's going on, Chris, but he needs to get it together. Okay? He really does. I'm just calling it out. Whatever happened with Scott Boras and all that, he needs to get Scott Boras out of his ear, because if he wins the World Series this year, that's going to impact his free agency. You see what I mean? Uh-huh. It's going to take his negotiation ability to another level. Even though he's going to get his money, but would you rather go into free agency as a 2-time World Series champion or a 1-time World Series champion? So that's my challenge to Chris Bryant. Get it together. Because I've seen him throw a couple of plays on the field. I don't like that, because he didn't get his money. I don't like that. Yeah, you got your 1-year deal, but I still don't like the fact that you're going out like this. Get it together.
Guys, we got to take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, we have more top of the morning topics. So don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago.
BoomerNaturals.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone.
Caratini hits a ground ball right side. Base hit past a diving Frazier. The Cubs are going to get on the board. Here comes Schwarber to score.
Cubs radio, Vic Caratini's RBI single giving Chicago a 1-0 lead over the Pirates. Wasn't enough, though. The Cubs fell 6-2, 4 runs on 7 hits over 5 full as Alec Mills drops to 3-3.
As Jose Abreu will bat with the bases loaded and 2 outs. 3-1 White Sox. First pitch swinging. High fly ball. Left center field. Gordon going back. Turns and watches it. Bangs off the bottom of the wall. 1 run's going to score. Anderson's in. Right behind him is Grandal. There's a play at the plate. He'll slide in, and he is out at home plate.
White Sox radio with the call. Jose Abreu's 2-run double, helping lead the Sox past Kansas City 11-6. Boomer Naturals, your source for 3-layer protective face masks. Breathable protection for adults and kids. Save 20% with promo code SPORTS at BoomerNaturals.com. Chuck Sanders, that's the Sports Flash, 1330 95.9 The Zone.
Introducing Peacock, the new free streaming service from NBC Universal. And the only one that's trending, up to date, around the clock, what you need, from who you know. With storm fronts, stand-ups, live news, and points of view.
And that's Nightly News. I'm Lester Holt.
And that's why you can't not watch. Peacock. Watch for free. Upgrade for more. Stream now at peacocktv.com. Content availability may vary over time.
If you knew there was an energy shot that also helped you lose weight, would you try it? Real Ketones Keto Energy Shots give you sustained energy without the sugar jitters or crash. That's why Keto Energy Shots constantly get 5-star reviews. The secret is our patented all-natural ingredient DBHB. This powerful ingredient revs up your metabolism and turns your body into a fat-burning machine in only minutes. Feel energized while shredding unwanted pounds. Pull into a CVS now and look for Keto Energy Shots in the weight loss aisle, or go to realketones.com.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago. Man, I'm telling you, got any big plans this weekend, Joe? Because I'll tell you what, I am fired up this weekend. Got a couple barbecues to go to. Got a little nap, some sleeping to get involved, and I might even head up to Michigan back on Sunday just for the day. For the day, I want to see how that weather is because it could probably be around 80 degrees and get one last day at the beach before they close. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And then Monday come back and try and find a barbecue somewhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's about to get down. It's about to go down. Like today is our 2-month marriage anniversary, so we're celebrating that today. So we're gonna do something big today. My wife, my son, and I, so we getting ready after the show. We're gonna kick it. We're gonna hang out, have a ball, probably do a little video game night tonight, something like that. We got the 4K going here, the 4K Xbox One X. So we just ordered the Avengers today or something like that. We just got that. So we're gonna have a little arcade night, probably check out a movie or something like that, go out to eat, and just celebrate this beautiful day. Okay. Yeah, I'm not, like I said, hopefully I'm gonna keep checking the weather today and tomorrow, and like I said, I might take a quick run up to Michigan, because if I do, it'll be early in the morning. I'll take off early Sunday morning, stay till like 3 or 4, grab a bite on the way back, and then chill. And I might even get into something on Sunday night. Who knows? Because I gain an hour when I come back from Michigan. So who knows? We'll see. But man, be safe out there, man. Be safe out there, man. Because we need you back here safely on Monday.
So I'm saying, buddy. So when I went out last week, my boy from Texas, my grammar school buddy, he was like, dude, we're in the middle of a pandemic. He goes, why are you? I took a video. I'm like, dude, there's nobody behind me. And I'm telling you, Joe, the closest person near me was about 55, 60 feet away from me. There was nobody around me, and he was like, all right, we'll just be safe getting back to Chicago. I was like, okay. Yeah. I'm like, no, I got you, Papa. Trust me. I'm not going to go sit in a crowd of people. I just want to get at the beach and just kind of stay away from people. Get in the water, go lay out. Get in the water, go lay out. You know what I mean? So, I wasn't going to be hanging around. Huh?
Do you fish?
No.
Okay. I want to learn how to do that.
Too boring for me.
I bought a brand new fishing rod that I still haven't used yet. It has a kit and everything.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I need to get a license first though. I want to take my son and my wife fishing. I would love to do that.
I don't. To me, that's too boring. It's too boring. Like if I'm gonna sit there and do nothing, like I don't want to. I'd rather just be laying out. I don't want to be sitting there waiting for something.
Right. I feel you. I feel you, bro. I feel you.
And truth be told, man, if I'm sitting, I'd rather just sleep. Let's keep it real. I'd rather sleep.
Right. Brother gotta get us some sleep.
I'm telling you. So when I go to the beach, what I'll do is I bring, obviously you bring your phone. So I'll set it for 30 minutes. I'll lay out 30 minutes, flip over, lay out for another 30 minutes. There's an hour rest right there, and I go back in the water for a little bit. So
power naps.
Power naps. Yes.
They're the best. They're the best.
Yes. Well, getting back to sports, the next topic, morning topic, we're going to stay with the Cubs. Your team, man, this reminds me of Damon Wayans and in Living Color. They trying to get more money. Cubs look to add a sports book. Okay. In a $100 million partnership with DraftKings, the Cubs are either going to create, they're going to either build, they're going to add on a sports book, or they're going to build a freestanding sports book on Wrigley's property. So, dude, this is crazy. All right, COVID hit. But the Cubs are always looking to make money. Let's keep it real. They got $1 billion renovation plan that they did with the hotels and the bars and everything, and the rooftops. Okay. They want to make it like a year-round thing, right? Make it a year-round thing. Crane Kenny, he is the Cubs president of business operations, said the DraftKings has been a, quote, great partner for a number of years. And the Cubs are excited to expand this relationship as sports betting grows rapidly in Illinois. An increasing number of sports fans want to integrate sports betting into their game experience, and we're excited to be one of the first to engage in developing a retail sports book at a professional sports venue. Now, there's some things that need to be worked out because sports gambling still isn't legal in Chicago. Okay, it's illegal in the state of Illinois, but at the local level, it's not legal yet in Chicago, but you and I both know it will be.
Yeah, and I'm never like a big fan of sports teams get involved with gambling, so I don't support gambling. But I know that they're trying to generate revenue, and I know DraftKings was a big move that was made this week also with Michael Jordan.
Yes.
So we're pretty much partners with Michael Jordan right now. You see what I mean? So, so you got MJ on your squad now. So I know the revenue is about to be flowing in.
MJ ain't about losing money.
That's
not about losing money.
Yeah. So in spite of it being a vice, I know that this is how they make money as a team. Now, here's the deal. Remember I was just saying about Chris Bryant, I know he probably looking at that deal like, hey, y'all about to generate more revenue.
Yep.
Pay up. Maybe this can change his game because I looked at his stats. His last 5 at-bats, 0 runs, 0 hits, 178 average. Somebody's throwing the season, bro. Somebody's throwing the season. I'm sorry I need to say that, but somebody's throwing the season.
You think so?
Yeah, bro. I think it is going down because Scott Boras, I just don't trust that guy, man. Scott Boras he's always lurking in the back like Dr. Evil, and he's always trying to use his leverage, even during a pandemic. I'm like, bro, let's just be glad that everybody is healthy, okay? And if you're gonna go out as a World Series champion, not to change the subject, let's do it the right way. Leave on good terms. Don't leave on bad terms. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. I feel you. I don't know if I agree with him tanking, but I see your point.
Yeah, I saw a play, Shawn. I'm just gonna call it out. Okay. I saw a play, and Chris Bryant, he didn't even dive on the ground for it, and Javi Baez came behind him. Do you remember this play?
Yeah.
Javi Baez came behind him and almost threw the guy out.
Yep.
He almost threw him out, but Chris didn't give 100% effort on the play. He short-armed the play. And when I saw that, I was like, whoa, what are you doing? You know, get that 7 foot, he's 6'5", 6'6", stretch that body out there. Okay, Javi shouldn't have to, you know,
go deep in the hole for that. When you could get it, you could cut it off.
Exactly, you could have cut it off with your body at least. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is that you didn't give 100% effort, and you got this mentality like, well, if the organization don't care about me, I'm not gonna care about them. And I'm starting to see that out of Chris, even though he had little injuries and stuff like that, but. It's been horrible this season. And I know he's way better.
Do you blame him though? I mean, because the Cubs have low. I'll tell you this: the Cubs have, and here's the Cubs haven't lowballed them. The Cubs have been playing by the rules. Okay, the Cubs have actually given him more in arbitration than he actually was granted. So they're trying to show because he started with the service time issue when they held him back. So I know he wasn't happy about that. I know Boris wasn't happy about that.
Right.
They're trying to show good faith in the last couple of years in arbitration that they're giving him more. So say he was awarded $8 million, they give him 10 or 10.5 or something. They're giving him more, saying, hey, listen, they're trying to show good faith. So when it comes to negotiating for a long-term deal, that he might have the same. He'll say, okay, look, you guys work with me by giving me more. Okay, maybe I'll stay here. Maybe take a little bit of a discount. Right. Scott Boras is that shark is like, no, he's at the Cubby Matumbo.
That's right. And it's not Chris Bryant, it's Scott Boras. It is not Bryant, it's Boras. He's I'm sorry, go ahead.
So Chris Bryant isn't, like, in my opinion, Chris Bryant's not going to work his ass to a new contract if he's not playing well, if he's not hitting the ball. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of what he in his mind or what you guys whatever may be, he's not performing on the field, so that's not going to warrant the money that Scott Boras is looking for. I don't care what he thinks he's going to go ahead and tell teams, but he's not going to want it. Chris Bryant has been struggling for a long time, and nobody knows if it's nagging injuries, if it's him himself. Nobody knows what the hell's going on, and there's really no clear end in sight right now because it just looks like Chris Bryant's out there. It's great that he's back, right. But I don't see any type of explosion. Or any type of I don't see MVP KB.
Right. And Ivan, did you see that play? Ivan, did you see that play that me and Shawn was talking about? Did you see that play?
Yeah. I think if he makes the play, right? If he goes on and lays out and makes a play, it's going to be an amazing play. But if he misses the play, that guy's on. Right. So letting Javi, if he went after it and he decided no. That's because he thought Javi had a better chance to go make that play at first, make that throw at first. Because you got to think, Chris is going to have to go ahead, dive to get the ball, then get up, turn, and make the throw to first. Javi just had to come and make, a fluid motion, and he almost got him. It was got him. So I don't know. I think it might have been Chris, let Javi get it. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't like when guys have hard stuff. I'm a type, when I was a coach, either you go 100% or you don't go 100%. If you don't go 100%, have a seat, okay? Because you're wasting other guys' time to play. Even though you may got this resume that's saying World MVP, 2016 National League MVP, 2015 Rookie of the Year, etc. That's all in the past. Now we're living in the present. We need to see Chris Bryant, okay? We need to see it. And I'm sorry, I don't take shots at Chris Bryant because I love Chris Bryant. He was like my Captain America, But now he's starting to turn into what they call a Bizarro Superman, or I don't want that problem. You see what I mean? So, man, look, man, you got it good, brother. You got a beautiful wife, you got a little beautiful baby. You in the best sports town in the world. Biasly telling you that, but I really believe that. But my whole thing is go out in style. Even your best friend Anthony, he's kind of disappointed that you didn't get your money, but y'all not babies no more. It's time to grow up, move on. It's a business. Play your game. Don't go out like this. That's all I'm saying.
Could it also be, I'm not sure how much you played baseball or how much it's also sometimes it could be easier for him because if you think about it, Chris Bryant's going to his left. So if he doesn't die, first of all, if he dies, now he's got to get up, make sure he still has the ball, get up and make a good throw. If he doesn't dive and he gets it, now all his momentum is going to the left, and he's got to make an accurate throw. Right. Isn't it just easier for Javi, who's more prone to making acrobatic and high risk plays like that. Isn't it easier for Javi to just say, no, I got it, and Chris just said, okay, fine, you got it. Could it be that it was just more efficient for Javi to do it? Because they talk. He's like, yeah, I got it, and you know what I mean.
Right. And I just saw his snatch his glove back. When I saw that, it kind of hurt me because I was just like, that's not Chris Bryant, because I saw him make some great plays at third, some old school Brooke Robinson type plays, where the ball is hit down the line, the ball is hit like that, like it was on that day. And I think Javi was caught off guard a little bit because he thought that he was going to get to it. He thought Chris Bryant was going to get to it before he got to it. But Javi kept following through. What I'm saying is that it's not a big deal. What I'm saying is that it's showing in his play. It's showing in his at-bats. Even though he probably thinks it sucks that he has to lead off. He probably thinks it sucks that he's not batting third. What I'm saying is that it's just I can tell that there's things irritating him. It's not him. It's not who Chris Bryant is. He's normally a 275, 300 hitter in between that range. And then in addition to that, I don't know if he's losing power. I don't know. I don't know if something going on in his head or he got his mind made up. But I just feel Scott Boras' presence. I don't know why. I keep feeling Scott Boras' presence. Like he's trying to use this. And I'm not saying for his money because he's going to get his money anyway. But I just don't want him to sabotage the season. That's all I'm saying.
I got you. Well, moving on to the next top of the morning topics, I think this is so cool. The Pittsburgh Pirates are all going to wear number 21 jerseys on Roberto Clemente Day, September 9th. Roberto, if you guys don't know who Roberto Clemente is, Roberto Clemente was a great humanitarian, a phenomenal baseball player, Puerto Rican baseball player, who was number 21 is huge in the Hispanic community when it comes to baseball players. If you remember 21, Roberto Clemente, you also had Sammy Sosa. It's a very big, very popular number. Had 300 hit. He died in a humanitarian mission, delivering food to somewhere in the Caribbean. I don't remember. Nicaragua. I wanted to say that, but I wasn't sure. It didn't sound right. It's in Nicaragua. And this guy, he was one of the beginners of the Latin of the Caribbean movement, so to speak. He was a 5-tool player. This guy was amazing, and I think it's a great thing the way they're about to honor him and have all the Pittsburgh Pirates on September 9th wear his jersey, wear number 21. I think it is it's an amazing tribute. And for a guy who was so much bigger, who was more than just a baseball player, and he was a Hall of Fame baseball player, but he's even a better person. And that just goes to show you in the way that he passed away, how he, what he did and how he felt about his people, about his Hispanic people. It didn't matter if it was, Puerto Rican or Dominican or Cuban or Nicaraguan. They needed help, and he was helping them.
Wow, what an amazing man! What an amazing humanitarian. This guy's done so much off the field, just for his people alone. And just him being an ambassador, giving back to his country and how intelligent he was, very smart brother. He's a part of the civil rights too, right? Didn't he help a lot in the civil rights movement too, right, Shawn? He did a lot of
he was coming up during the civil rights era, once Jackie broke the color barrier and stuff. But he was before that he was in the minors, and they were dealing with the same things that black players in America were dealing with. Mm-hmm. And it's hard. And it was, I want to say it was even harder. I don't want to compare tragedies, right. But they couldn't speak English. Right. So now you have a language barrier on top of being black. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now you get a double whammy. Now you can't speak. You can't speak the King's English, and you can't, and you're not, and you don't look like everybody else. Right. So it's especially the Afro-Latino players, they dealt with a lot of racism, just like the African American players did.
Think about the situation where if you're Puerto Rican or you're an Afro Latino player, and you can't speak English, and you're trying to say, well, why can't I go into this hotel? Mm. Why can't I eat here? Why can't I eat there? I don't know how many teams had translators back then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it wasn't very many. So you had to have players who spoke both languages, which I'm sure that there had to have been. But just think of the mind blow that it is. You're like, well, why can't, in Spanish, like, why can't I go eat here? Or why can't we stay here? Or why?
Right.
And then you can't get an explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it is a difficult thing. It was a difficult thing, and to his credit, you know what? It didn't stop him from one, from being a great baseball player, from two, from still caring about people, especially his Latin people, and taking care of them. So I got nothing but mad respect for Roberto Clemente. And again, I think it's just awesome on September 9th. They're all going to wear number 21 jerseys. I believe they're playing the White Sox that day.
It's funny because it's like the Pirates are going to all wear 21 to a lineup that's like pretty much all Hispanics in White Sox, which is awesome. I mean, it's an awesome thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure even the White Sox are gonna feel some type of appreciation, like the players on the team.
You know what? I wonder if they're going to have a patch, maybe a 21 patch somewhere on the White Sox I'm talking about. If the White Sox are going to have a patch, a number 21 patch to honor him as well, just because, he was not the first, Caribbean player, but he was one of the first and probably the most famous one, especially to come around in all of baseball. I mean, because we love Manny Minoso here in Chicago. Manny Minoso didn't have that panache, that Roberto Clemente had. And so I'm wondering if the White Sox are going to have something on their jerseys to commemorate, Roberto Clemente Day over in Pittsburgh, because again, he along with others have paved the way for the Luis Roberts, the Eloy Jimenez, the Jose Abreu, João Moncadas, and all these other guys coming from the Caribbean. So the Alistair Ramirez, I just think that's great. Oh, we got a comment from Bill O'Connor, my guy OC. He's like, how about retiring 21 like 42? Well, no one in that, I assume he's meaning across baseball. Mm-hmm. No one's worn 21 for the Pirates since Clemente. I don't know if they're going to do that. I think it'd be a great idea, but I don't know if anyone I don't know if all teams would be willing to do that. I know, again, the Pirates haven't had anyone wear 21 since Clemente, so maybe it just gets stuck with the Pirates retiring 21.
Yes, and it seems like that franchise has never been the same since the loss of Roberto, even though they've made it far.
The last time they got really close.
But Clemente as a player was just an amazing ball player. I mean, he had the rocket arm. He can hit for singles, hit for doubles, hit for triples, hit for power. 3,000 hits over 3,000 hits in his career. Just an amazing player, and he was a young man too. So man, that's just so tragic to even think about it to this day. And I think he deserves to have his jersey retired across Major League Baseball also. And shout out to the Clemente family.
Even just the way he died, he died trying to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He died on his way to go help from I think it was an earthquake in Nicaragua, and ended up dying on his way there. So it's like he was somebody who was giving, like he was on his way to help people. He was caring, he was loving, and he wanted to, he saw someone in trouble and he knew he had the means to help, and he was going to do that.
Straight. Yeah, he's like a minister. He's like a minister to me.
Yeah, it's when you have players like that, those are the players that you revel in, that you revere, and that you look up to, and you build statues, you erect statues about. You know what I mean? Those are the type of players that you do that for.
You talk about like La Pantera and stuff like he was the first one. Like he was like the first loop, like the way he was built and the things that he could do. Like it was amazing to watch. I guess like I'd never seen it, but the stories I hear, and the things that I've read about him, it just like all I could think of is Luis Robert. When I hear the story, like when I hear stories and read about Clemente, I could think about just like the physical frame with maybe not as much power, but like as far as athleticism, equally matched.
I think about Sammy Sosa, even though he got in trouble and stuff, but before he got in trouble, I thought he was like a spitting image of Roberto Clemente. Just his mannerisms, how he handled himself on camera, wearing the number 21, running around with the flag, like just seeing he had that showmanship, but also that humbleness, that humanitarian humbleness, that life like of an ambassador or someone that can represent a country well and do it with integrity. And I thought Sammy Sosa was like our Roberto Clemente, just from watching him throughout the 90s, even though he came out of obscurity, just his story, he was a shoe shine boy, then he built from there with the Texas Rangers, then to the White Sox, then to the Cubs, became a 30-30 guy. You see what I mean? So I think he was really trying to emulate Clemente, and I think he said it in a couple of interviews. He tried to emulate him, to a certain point, and just so happened, like I said, unfortunately with the steroid era, it kind of took away that whole, Sammy being that Roberto Clemente type guy. Clemente did everything with integrity.
And Jason Palmer, he said retire number 21 for Clemente, retire 42 for Robinson, and retire 51 for Ichiro. All three men had significant impact on the game of baseball, in addition to making huge contributions to their communities and society at large. I like that. I don't have a problem.
Agree. Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, remember he was a two-time World Series winner at age 38. He had exactly 3,000 hits. He had exactly 3,000 hits. I remember that, and that's just what I mean. It's just to see that someone like that die in such a manner. Someone who's just such a great person was a tragedy. Truly a tragedy. Well, listen, we got to take another break. Hey, Joseph, you have a great weekend, Papa. You whatever you're doing, whether it's video games, whether it's movies, whether it's enjoy the time with the family, and have a great one, Papa. We won't be on Monday, so we'll see you on Wednesday. So enjoy. You get a 3-day. You get a break from us, but we'll see you back on Wednesday. All right.
All right, God bless, and hopefully the Cubs are still in first place the next time I see you.
Yeah, it's a big series, 5 games in 4 days. Yeah, a lot can happen. So good. Yeah. Yep.
All right, hold it down. All right, Jay, hold it down. All right, later.
All right, guys, we got to take a quick break. So on the other side of the break, our boy Kenneth Davis is going to join us. Talk a little. We actually have quite a few different topics to talk with Kenneth, so don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago.
BoomerNaturals.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone.
Caratini hits a ground ball right side, base hit past a diving Frazier. The Cubs are going to get on the board. Here comes Schwarber to score.
Cubs radio, Vic Caratini's RBI single giving Chicago a 1-0 lead over the Pirates. Wasn't enough, though. The Cubs fell 6-2, 4 runs on 7 hits over 5 full, as Alec Mills drops to 3-3.
As Jose Abreu will bat with the bases loaded and 2 outs. 3-1 White Sox. First pitch swinging. High fly ball. Left center field. Gordon going back. Turns and watches it. Bangs off the bottom of the wall. 1 run's going to score. Anderson's in. Right behind him is Grandal. There's a play at the plate. He'll slide in, and he is out at home plate.
White Sox radio with the call. Jose Abreu's 2-run double, helping lead the Sox past Kansas City 11-6. Boomer Naturals, your source for 3-layer protective face masks. Breathable protection for adults and kids. Save 20% with promo code SPORTS at BoomerNaturals.com. Chuck Sanders, that's the Sports Flash, 1330 95.9 The Zone.
Introducing Peacock, the new free streaming service from NBC Universal. And the only one that's trending, up to date, around the clock, what you need from who you know. With storm fronts, stand-ups, live news, and points of view.
And that's Nightly News. I'm Lester Holt.
And that's why you can't not watch. Peacock. Watch for free. Upgrade for more. Stream now at peacocktv.com. Content availability may vary over time.
If you knew there was an energy shot that also helped you lose weight, would you try it? Real Ketones Keto Energy Shots give you sustained energy without the sugar, jitters, or crash. That's why Keto Energy Shots constantly get 5-star reviews. The secret is our patented all-natural ingredient DBHB. This powerful ingredient revs up your metabolism and turns your body into a fat-burning machine in only minutes. Feel energized while shredding unwanted pounds. Pull into a CVS now and look for Keto Energy Shots in the weight loss aisle, or go to realketones.com.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday. Happy Labor Day weekend, and this is a great way to start off the weekend with a little Shawn and Maya in the morning with some sports talk. I had a great start to my weekend. My 5 o'clock CrossFit class was the bomb. Man, we were able to. It was fun. It was a partner thing. So I'm telling you, I'm feeling fired up. I ain't gonna bull jive you though. I'm gonna take a nice little nap after the show. But right now, I'm feeling good, especially after that workout, and the show is going great. Listen, and it's going to continue to go great because the baton has been passed off to our good friend. Guys, we're going to bring him on. He's a good friend of the program from The Davis Show. I got it, Papa. I got it from The Davis Show. You can find him on Twitter at That's Davis. Guys, welcome back to Shawn and Maya, our boy, Kenneth Davis. Kenneth, what's up, Papa?
What's up? Listen, I hate to do this to you. I had to change it to That Davis Show. Because
I just got it right.
I know, right? You did. But it was because of Twitter that it was available. I would have had to do like underscore, and it was just like, all right, forget it. And I mean, that was my initial thought. It's funny. That was my thought. D had made a joke about it before he stepped away to say that, and I was like, I didn't know if that would seem like it was a joke, but yeah, it is. It's not that. Of course, my Twitter handle was That's Davis, but it's That Davis Show is now the name of the show, just so you know.
That Davis Show. That's funny.
That Davis Show. You know, kind of, I guess, play on That 70s Show, but That Davis Show is what we rock with right now. But yeah, dude, since the last time I saw you, we were up one, I felt like, and I meant more than one, but we were having good times. It hasn't been good times. I know the Sox won last night, but it was the Royals. Even though, I always say the Royals play the Sox well usually. They've been a thorn in their side, but that Minnesota series, bro, is
yeah, that one got me. That one got me too.
You know, especially when you want that's who you're chasing. You know what I'm saying? That's who you're chasing, and for the fact that those pitchers really couldn't do anything as far as even make it to the sixth, and Ronaldo, I hate doing that to Ronaldo Lopez because going back to 2 seasons ago, we thought he was what we were going to get out of that trade because Giolito was leading the majors as far as having the highest ERA, basically. And Gio turning around, and it just seems like Ronaldo is not going to work. Everybody's not going to hit. I mean, again, this wasn't a guy that I think we looked at was going to hit, but everybody's not going to hit. I know he was popping off a little bit at the mouth, too, after that game against the Twins as far as being pulled out early when it's just like, shorty, you got 50 pitches already. Like, what you doing? I mean, that one is just you know. So I'm not in an amplified Sox mood right now, to say the least, man. I needed 2 victories from the Twins, bro. I needed 2 of them.
Yeah, I would have loved that. 2 out of 3 would have been fine. But that 2-game swing, man, it was really, really, really huge. You know, we'd be a half game up right now. So it's. But you know what? It's okay. And here's why: is you things like this are like losses in week 9 or 10 in the NFL season. Losses that say, you ain't on your square. Right? Mm-hmm. Losses that get you refocused. Losses that get you ready and bring you down a notch. Because I still think there was a little too much jovialness or playfulness amongst the guys. And they need to be knocked back into place. And I think that Twin series knocked them back into place because they had them. They had all 3. They had those games. It's just the pitching fell apart late in one, and then the last one was just like, okay, we got ahead, and now we're going to pile on. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because we have a nice little stretch up here coming up with teams that we should beat. Okay, and we need to go to work. So I think it really brought them back down to earth. You know, the one thing that I'm concerned about is Yohan Moncada. You know, I'm kind of worried about his. You know, he said he's not. It's taking him a while to get strength. He just feels tired, and I'm like, you know what, dude?
That Rona, man.
I'm telling you.
You're thinking about this, though. You're thinking about this. You got the Rona, and then you're expected to jump right back into a season. And a season where basically you play every day. Now, of course, he's been getting rest. But it's not like, you know, for the most part, he's getting a week and a half off. And that's to even say that if a week and a half will work. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude may not be right till next year. I mean, when we were talking about it last week, when we were sitting there with Scott Merkin, I think it was Scott Merkin, and bringing it up, and Dad, we still don't know how this works. And again, I hate to say this too, to think about the fact that he's paid, right? I'm just sitting here, I'm just giving you my thoughts, and I'm just rambling out a bit at the mouth. What if he's not exactly the same cat that he was, as far as, especially one thing you always bring up is the running, the speed. That was one of this big infielder who could just rip it and run it and can knock the cover off the ball. So yeah, dude, that one is definitely something that to read that article and to see him sit there and really detail, like, yeah, I'm not right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and how often does someone come out and say that? Like, I'm not right, and I haven't been basically the same. So yeah, dude, I hope the best for him. Another thing that was concerning from that Twin series, and it goes along with what you're saying about playing too much, because sometimes when you're jovial, you're not locking down your fundamentals. It was the errors, man. And like, I will say this, and it kind of gets back to what you said about that NFL Week 10 loss. I do like the fact that they lost 2 games and then it stopped. You know, because in the past, this would have been 3 games. You know what I'm saying? It would have been about, and then maybe Dallas Keuchel would have had to come and be the stopper. You know what I'm saying? But
5 games later, yeah,
exactly. Now it's like, all right, let's fix this. So it's still trending up. But I also think we're kind of finding out who this team is. And it's not to say this team doesn't have a threat to be somebody in the postseason, but I don't know if we can sit there and be like they're odds-on favorite and one person would have made them hands down a favorite right now, because it's still really early with the returns on this team, and also going along with one of your star players may not be right this entire season.
Yeah, but that's a great point, because of the fact that there's no one guy that this team relies on. Mm-hmm. There's no one guy. So if Moncada's out, it could just be as if he's in a slump, because he's been in a slump. In his last 23 games, he's hitting 195 with 3 homers. Okay, so, you know, we haven't really had a healthy Yohan Moncada all year, and we're still fighting for first. Okay, so the way that Rick Hahn, sir, hats off to you. The way this team is constructed, there's no one person that this team is relying upon, and it's going to be a crazy thing if everybody struggles. You know what I mean? We're talking literally 7 to 8 people with Moncada being out, so maybe 6 to 7 people that would have to struggle. And just the law of averages, it's very unlikely that you're going to have 7 people struggle. And so if you don't have 7 people struggling, you have 3 people doing well those 3 can carry the team, because not one specific guy has to carry the team, and most of those guys can go yard anytime you want. I mean, you name it, from Grandal to McCann to Abreu to TA7 to to Lubov. There's a number.
Everybody except Nick Madrigal. How about this? Everybody except Nick Madrigal.
Basically, yeah. All Madrigal does is just smack it around the field. Magic, he'll single, he'll double you to death, and because he's not hitting out of the park. But he's that annoying guy that's going to get a bloop hit, that's going to get a line drive, would run on second and third, get a nice solid base hit, bring in 2 runs.
Right.
And he's that dude, that you need on a team when you got a team full of boppers.
Right.
So,
you do.
First of all, what's up, Kenneth?
What's up, man?
Chilling. 2 things. Are you guys worried about Moncada? I mean, I know it's an injury. It's like this is like year 1. We saw him taking steps last year. Are you worried about him? And if he is gone, are you really worried that you're missing him, because you got a guy like a Nick Madrigal and you got all these other boppers right behind him that could just, that could pick him up, take up the mantle for him?
I mean,
are you worried that this might carry on? Like the first one is, are you worried that there's something up with Yohan? And then second is like, are you worried that his absence is going to really affect them, or can they just plug and play like they've been doing? They went ahead and signed a Yalmer that's familiar with the group. They went ahead and they got a Madrigal. They got a what's the dude's called Mendick. They got guys like that, and they've been winning. So is Yohan that big of a deal? And well, first of all, is he all right in your mind? And is his absence that big of a deal?
He's not all right. I worried about this going into next year. I would really like to see in next year's spring training how well he is performing. He's important. I mean, now as Shawn just said, they can go along without him, but you're a better team with Yohan Moncada healthy and ripping. Like you're fortified. Then you're at the level of an embarrassment of riches. You know what I'm saying? Now they're loaded. But you think about having perhaps your second or third best player, which is crazy to say. You could listen healthy he's just, I would say probably TA7 is probably number one. You know what I'm saying? It was Jose, but I think still it kind of goes to TA7. But yeah, I'd rather have Moncada healthy and ready to go going into the playoffs because the whole team shouldn't sit there and go cold. And on top of that, compared to in the past, they have so many home run hitters that they can turn it on even if they're all slumping just from the fact they have so many guys that can knock it out the park. Before, you may have had two guys. Now you have a legit 4 or 5 guys easy. You know what I'm saying? That's with Moncada out I'm talking about, that if they connect with the ball, that bad boy can go into the stands. But yeah, if I had my druthers, I'd much rather have Moncada. But they can still go out there and win, but they're better team with Moncada hands down.
Yeah, much better. So we'll see how it plays out. And I think you might be right, Ken. I think he's not going to be right until next year. So, because you can't – are you going to give him a week off? I mean, you gave him 3 days off. And as you mentioned, is that week off going to even matter? And he just might need to get back right. So we don't know. And unfortunately, we got to watch it and watch it as it unfolds. So –
I got a question for you though. It's on the side note because I check out the rundown. I'm here for the jokes, Shawn. I don't know if you know that. I'm here for the jokes. I can't get any young Mikael Smith pimping on my blog.
That's the next one because we didn't get to that on top of the morning.
Okay. Pimping.
I saw that.
I had to read that article. Go ahead.
So Lovie Smith's son is arrested for pimping. It's actually technically called pandering, but he's corrected. He was arrested for pimping.
Dude,
pimping ain't easy. Pimping ain't easy.
Now look, let me leave. We're not. This is of course for the young ladies. Who allegedly he was in charge of controlling, doing that. We're saying that first. All right. It's just, this is crazy when you see that headline in that article. It's bananas.
Yeah. So he's a 43-year-old guy. He also faces charges of money laundering and conspiracy. He's a former University of Arizona college football player, was on the staff at Chicago Bears and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers under his father. But yeah, he was arrested and he was arrested for receiving earnings from a prostitute and sex trafficking. So, I had one idiot and I didn't want to delete him because I'm not that, you opposed me or you said something stupid. So he was just like, great parenting. And I'm like, listen, dude, we've all done things that our parents would not be proud of.
Yes.
Let's keep it real.
Yes.
Let's keep it real. Yes. We've all done things that our parents would not be proud of.
I know. Okay? I know kids that grew up, like in my neighborhood, parents was like a lawyer, and his knuckleheads out dealing drugs and being a nobody. And it's like, how did you end up like, there's too many people. I don't think we can put this if on Lovey. If anything, you could say from any father that's a coach, you may not be there as often as maybe.
Right.
Look at Tony Dungy's situation.
Mm-hmm.
And look at Andy Reid's situation.
Yeah.
Talk when you're taking those type of shots. But a kid's really going to do, you can give them the foundation It's on them to execute the plan.
Bingo.
That's just the truth of the matter. I don't look at this. I only joke I got is they usually say pimping's in the blood. So has Lovey been fighting this addiction for us? Now see, that's just messed up. But listen, I was thinking in my head, how long? Like, did he just become a pimp? Right? Like in his 40s, he was like, you know what? I'm about to get out. I'm about to get in this game. I'm getting off the porch. Or has he always been pimping, but he had to get taken away because of coaching? So he was sitting there with his ladies of the night, and he'd be like, girl, I want to be here pimping all day, but I got to do this assistant coaching. I'll be back. Later.
You better have my money.
Right.
Man, I have to get back.
Exactly. Oh, man, I got to go help Mike Brown today. But listen, you better have that damn money when I get back to this damn house. But it's just like you never would have expected to see that headline that Lovie Smith's son got caught. Listen, that is the least social distancing type of profession that you could be in right now. It's never a time to be pimping. But yeah, that one, it blew my mind away to see that one. Again, for any ladies that are involved in sex trafficking, not even just like any people, all blessings, and hopefully you can come up out of that. So, I mean, yeah, we're joking and we're making fun of it, but we understand the seriousness of being caught up in that type of situation.
Yeah, it's tough, and you make bad decisions. And that's the thing. He's a grown ass man, and you make your own decisions. And we know how Lovey is. Lovey is definitely not that type of person. Okay, we've seen it here in Chicago. We've seen it down in Tampa. We see it back closer at the University of Illinois. That's not the type of thing. That's not the type of thing that Lovey instills in his kids.
Yeah.
And so it's just a kid. Again, we all do. We not one of us can claim that that we are free from something, of doing something that our parents would be embarrassed about, or you know what I mean?
Right. Just not pimping though. Not pimping though.
No, I would not. I haven't gone that far.
I never got the pimp. I wonder if he like put the powder, like hit me with some of that powder. Smith.
Last name Smith.
Maybe that scar that Lovey has on his chin, it was when that was the moment he decided to get out the game. It was like, you know what? This is too rough of a life. I'm gonna stick to this coach.
So when Mikhail goes, does he have ODB? Hey, Mikhail!
Hey! Oh my God. Listen, I'm sorry. I just unfortunately, I need to hear some of the audio of what was going on and how this dude was getting down. I know it's wrong. I just need to hear it to just verify what was really taking place. Because I'll tell you this, like I never understood this about like Snoop Dogg. It's time that Snoop Dogg was running around with Bishop Magic Don Juan and stuff like that. He was really pimping around that time, right? He had a couple in the stable, which is the most ridiculous thing. I love Snoop, but every time I see him, I think about that. And it's like, dude, you wait until like you're a global star and you're like, yeah, you know what I'm about to get off into? This pimping. It's like, so it makes me think about this young man whose father his father gave him 2 times at least, and that's the times that we know, to go into professional coaching in the NFL, right? Mm-hmm. Two opportunities. You could have been the next Kyle Shanahan for all we know if you applied yourself into doing this instead of pimping. You know what I'm saying? Like your dad tried. You just was the knucklehead that wasn't going to fall in line, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get nepotism help like that, listen, there's nothing wrong with a little nepotism. All right. That's why I got this position, so I can help others, especially those that are close to me. All right. I mean, and again, I know, like, for instance, in elections and stuff like that, nepotism is bad. Let me lead with that. All right. And in government, nepotism isn't necessarily the thing. But I'm a coach. I bring my son on. I take him from the Bears. When I don't have that job, I take him to Tampa Bay. Dog, these are NFL coaching positions. This isn't like college. This is NFL coaching positions, and you could have went on to someone else's. What you were supposed to do is get on someone else's team, so it no longer looks like it's nepotism, and you start to learn just like Kyle Shanahan did when he went to Washington. Then, he was down there in Georgia with Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Just the times where he wasn't with he was with his father in Washington. But just talking about, like, dude, you got to get out there, man. So that he double blew it, because like you had NFL opportunities, and you rather be out here harassing young ladies, basically. And
for me, the problem is this, that people don't realize. They're they talked a lot about getting more minority coaches in the game. Okay, more offensive coordinators, more just minority coaches in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And now you get a guy who has one, and I'm okay with nepotism, especially with in this case, because you know what? How many other coaches have gotten it because their dad is who their dad is? So as Lovie is a black man, if he's able to get his son in, I'm okay with it. I am more than okay with it. Okay, but you got to go. You got to earn it. You got to realize that there's people behind you that are going to face the wrath of what it is you do. They're going to reap the benefits of what you do, or they're going to face the wrath of what you do, and they're going to deal with the consequences of what you do. And right now, he set folks back, because now you see this like, okay, well, now the first question is, okay, well, why did he get? Well, how was he on those staffs? Just because of Lovie, as opposed to him going, like you said, and making the name of himself like Shanahan and become a good defensive coordinator or a good wide receiver coach or a good defensive back or whatever position he coaches, and being one of the best in the business, and saying, okay, well, now his work stands alone and stands by itself. He got the in, but he's qualified because look what he's done. Look what he's done to this defense. Look what he's done to this position group. And he screwed it up for a lot of people.
I don't know if I would say he screwed it up, because he's been out of the league for a minute, and I don't think he had validated himself enough to where it looked like it wasn't a father hire. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's still bad that he put this mark on his dad, and who we know is from what we've known is a good Christian man, and also his mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, think about this: your mom, this is your son. You find out that he's out there, forcing women to have sex with people and give him the money like that. I mean, if I was a male and found out my son was doing that, there'd be some furniture moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm even talking about if he was 43. Like, dude, what the hell are you do? Like, where did this come from? Like, when did it's the difference from like if he's out there smoking dope and just not necessarily paying his taxes or something. It's like, all right, you're an idiot. But like you're doing one of the worst things that you can do to somebody else. Like, that wasn't in our house. Where did this start to come out of you, where this was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to take advantage of a person and use them to my benefit. Like that to me would bother me if my child was doing something like that, because again, I don't think this speaks to Lovie Smith, but I would feel like it did. You know what I'm saying? I would feel like, because look at the ticker tape. It says Lovie Smith's son. It doesn't say Mikael Smith. It's Lovie's the lead, right? Lovie's the reason we're talking about it, because he's Lovie's. He wasn't Lovie Smith's son, we wouldn't care about it. You know what I'm saying? So It's like you're putting your family name into this mess, and I tried to do right by you, but listen, this is Lovie. I knew you was a mess up. I knew you was a screw. Right? I knew it. Told your mama. Like, just like, dude, like that was bananas, man. Like this has been some wild times, man. But that one, I wasn't expecting that one. Like that one, and then with and Jay Cutler maybe dating Tommy Lorraine. Yeah. Like, oh my goodness, man.
I saw that. I'm like, and the funny thing about that is she went off on a tangent about all men are trash. Majority of men are trash. This was recently. And she went off on a whole thing. I mean, I had to listen to most of it because I wanted to hear it. So preparing for the show, but I was like, really? And then Jay, you're going to date, like, dude, I love Cutler, dude. I love him. People hate him. And a lot of Chicago hates him, but you know what? Their football IQ isn't to where it's commensurate to mine and I could deal with it. So if you have that hate and I'm for Cutler, go ahead. I'm not going to entertain you.
I've had Jay Love. I mean, I knew who Jay was after the first season. I was like, yeah, this is Jay George all over again. I wanted him. I wanted Jay Cutler so bad. Jay Cutler Day, when they made that trade, I was downtown. You was yelling at strangers, right? Like, we got him.
High-fiving strangers.
Yeah, it was so, I'm not saying that, but I mean, Jay would never set his feet. All right, fundamentally, he was flawed. He didn't give a damn half the damn time. I find it funny that him and Urlacher, who didn't get along while they were playing with each other, are basically the same dude that we come to find out some years later as far as how they feel about what's going on out here in this world to a certain degree. But yeah, man, listen, again, it is what it is. there's some things I don't play with. I don't. And someone that has a platform that young lady has is kind of like a Candace Owens. You know, being like you, for instance, being a person of color, or it's Kanye. Kanye's even a better point. Being a young man who grew up in Chicago, and I was pulled over a lot of times between the age of, even before I was driving, I could say between 13 and maybe 20, 21. It wasn't, I mean, sometimes I was speeding, sometimes I just wasn't doing anything. You know what I'm saying? And how some of those altercations went left. I mean, luckily that one shot me or anything, but you know, that my civil rights were violated. I don't like hearing people that sit there and go along with the narrative that everything's just okay. When, you know, like I'm not a young black male anymore, but I know they're still out there and I know that they're put in these situations. And if for a young black male, for instance, like Kanye West, who grew up not too far from where I grew up, I know what you went through. We're the same age almost. I think he's a year older than me. I know I know what you've been through. So you can't sit there and big up people who are basically putting people that look like you in harm's way. So those types of things, like, again, freedom of speech and all that. But when it comes to my people and you amplifying the threat, because this echo chamber that we live in, where we're telling people it's okay to let your feelings of anger out if you don't like a person because of their color, if you're a person of color, it's scary. You know what I'm saying? It's because people feel emboldened now to do some crazy ass stuff, you know, and we see it across the board. So things like that, when I'm talking about the young Jay's rumored girlfriend, those kind of things don't necessarily fly right with me because there's people put at risk when you play games like that. You don't know that you're putting people at risk.
Yeah, and I just think he's so much better than her. I don't know why. Like I love Jay, you know, that's my dude. Yeah, I think he didn't give a damn because the Bears didn't give a damn about him for the first 3-4 seasons that he was here. You know, you don't get an offensive line. You get him destroyed. You know, that's not fun. It's not fun when 280, 300-pound defensive linemen are in your lunch and you're in the, you know, they're back there literally a second after you get the ball in the shotgun, on a constant basis, like somebody, you know, and then when he goes and pushes an offensive lineman for saying block, everyone's like, oh, Jay Cutler's no, he's hitting teammates. He's assaulting teammates. He should be arrested. But when Tom Brady does it, oh, Tom's a fiery leader. Oh, oh, man, Cutler's tight getting his ass whooped. All right, bottom line. You know, at that point, it ain't about how much money I'm making. It's about, dude, I am getting hurt. My ribs are sore. My neck is sore. My shoulders are sore. My back is sore. You know what I'm saying? And this is only the first quarter. You know, So again, I'm a big Cutler fan. You know, I think he should have. There were definitely ways he could have handled himself better at the end of his last 3 or 5 seasons of his Bear tenure. But you know, you go in six offensive coordinators in 8 years, man. You know, that's a recipe for disaster. That's a recipe
on him. Some of it's on him, though, Shawn. Like,
yeah. Oh, he held the ball too long. His footwork was all time. He'd force the ball in sometimes because of his rocket arm, and he made some plays. And he did make some plays. He made some plays. All right, but you know what? You needed a guy. You needed some stability. And Jay's like one of those kids, one of those super talented kids. He just needs structure.
Mm-hmm.
He just needs structure. And when you keep going from guy to guy to guy, you know, and dealing with kids, you see it all the time. When kids know that there's going to be, you know, when you're a substitute teacher, how much respect do substitute teachers have? They have none. Okay, so, you're just a sub, so you're just going to be here for 1 year. Oh, you're the new offensive coordinator. You're going to be here for 1 year. You're going to be here for 1 year. The only time it was two seasons in a row was Mike Martz and the head coach.
Trestman.
Leonard. I would say Leonard from Big Bang Theory. What's his? Mark Trestman.
Oh, yeah.
That was the only 2 times that he had. The only time that he had two consecutive, 2 seasons in a row with the same coordinator. Only time. Then you get Mike Tice. You get.
I forget Mike Tice. I blame Mike Tice.
Did you even remember Kenneth about Trestman? Did you forget about?
I didn't forget about Trestman.
I forget about Tice.
Yeah, I forget about when it's brought up. I remember Tice. The fact that Tice was an offensive coordinator for the Bears is one of the worst things that ever took place. That is crazy. When you just, I mean, listen, after what happened with him in Minnesota, let's not even forget about the games, how he was snatching up the game tickets from the players or whatever.
Yes.
Listen, but to sit there and be like, yeah, he's an offensive savant. What the hell was going on at Alice Hall right there, brother? That was Mike Tice. And then the fact that, I mean, still, we let Mike Marks trade away our tight end. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness.
He traded away a franchise tight end, like a Hall of Famer. He traded away a Hall of Famer for peanuts because he thought he didn't fit the system.
Right.
Okay.
And listen, we got to take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, we have more sports conversation with our guy, Kenneth Davis from That Davis Show on the other side. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago.
BoomerNaturals.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone.
Caratini hits the ground ball right side. Base hit past a diving Frazier. The Cubs are going to get on the board. Here comes Schwarber to score.
Cubs radio, Vic Caratini's RBI single giving Chicago a 1-0 lead over the Pirates. Wasn't enough, though. The Cubs fell 6-2, 4 runs on 7 hits over 5 full as Alec Mills drops to 3-3.
As Jose Abreu will bat with the bases loaded and 2 outs. 3-1 White Sox. First pitch swinging. High fly ball. Left center field. Gordon going back. Turns and watches it. Bangs off the bottom of the wall. 1 run's going to score. Anderson's in. Right behind him is Grandal. There's a play at the plate. He'll slide in, and he is out at home plate.
White Sox radio with the call. Jose Abreu's 2-run double, helping lead the Sox past Kansas City 11-6. Boomer Naturals, your source for 3-layer protective face masks. Breathable protection for adults and kids. Save 20% with promo code SPORTS at BoomerNaturals.com. Chuck Sanders, that's the Sports Flash, 1330 95.9 The Zone.
Introducing Peacock, the new free streaming service from NBC Universal. And the only one that's trending. Up to date, around the clock, what you need from who you know. With storm fronts, stand-ups, live news, and points of view.
And that's Nightly News. I'm Lester Holt.
And that's why you can't not watch. Peacock. Watch for free. Upgrade for more. Stream now at peacocktv.com. Content availability may vary over time.
If you knew there was an energy shot that also helped you lose weight, would you try it? Real Ketones Keto Energy Shots give you sustained energy without the sugar, jitters, or crash. That's why Keto Energy Shots constantly get 5-star reviews. The secret is our patented all-natural ingredient DBHB. This powerful ingredient revs up your metabolism and turns your body into a fat-burning machine in only minutes. Feel energized while shredding unwanted pounds. Pull into a CVS now and look for Keto Energy Shots in the weight loss aisle, or go to realketones.com.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago with our guest, co-host Kenneth Davis from That Davis Show. Talking a little football real quick, talking a little Jay Cutler, but let's move on a little bit. I miss my guy. We were talking Jay Cutler, dating Tommy Lahren. I just think he's better than her. You know what? Maybe he's just looking for some fun for a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe she speaks to his heart. Maybe that's how. Maybe that's like.
Speaking of Cutler,
he wants her to tell her. She whispers racist nothings in his ear as they go to sleep at night.
You know,
it gets them all antsy inside.
Speaking of Cutler, his ex-wife is now requesting. Are you sitting down?
I'm sitting.
She's requesting. Oh, no, never mind. Because I was getting that up, getting confused with someone else. So
okay.
No.
Okay.
So I digress.
Okay, I was about to say you were about to break something. I was like,
I was about to. I was like, no. We don't want to mix those up. Okay. So the next top of the morning topic: Ja Morant wins the Rookie of the Year in the NBA with 99 of the 100 first place votes.
So
I got no problem with this.
One person in New Orleans decided not to vote for Ja Morant.
Yep.
He should have won. Zion didn't play enough this season. I know supposed to consider what happened in the bubble. Zion wasn't even good in the bubble. And I know they held him back, but partially he was out of shape. It's not it would have been unfair. Even let's just say if the season had ended the way it ended, it would have been unfair to give Zion Rookie of the Year, even though he had been phenomenal before the season was stopped due to COVID. But he only had played like 20-something games. It would have been unfair to John Morant, who had played in majority of, I should say, of the whole NBA season. So no, that one, he deserves to have the Rookie of the Year. And to be honest with you too, if the Bulls had jumped up in that lottery, I kind of wanted them to fall to 2 because, listen, I just don't see how Zion's going to stay healthy. I mean, John Morant, even though he is skinny as you know what, I was watching a clip of him yesterday. And it was like he looks skinnier than what I think he looks like, but he's such a phenomenal athlete. And in this NBA, you don't have to be big as you had to when we were growing up. There's not as much hard fouling and contact with everything being open and spacing. But he definitely deserved a Rookie of the Year this past season. Hands down.
Got no qualms with it, as you mentioned. Zion just didn't play as much. So end of story. Just to go back
real quick, and John Morant's team was in the playoffs basically the entire season. They cheated basically to tried to get Zion in the playoffs.
Just to go back real quick on I'm a glutton for punishment on the Cutler situation. These were the offensive coordinators. Okay. That Cutler had.
I'm back. I want to hear this. Like, you saw my message. Like, you saw my message. It really made my skin crawl thinking about all those guys. I was sitting here like Mike Tyson.
All these bum ass coaches. So you got Ron Turner, who was good. But then he left after 09.
He was good when he was with what's his name, or Lovey, the first run in Chicago with Dave Wanstead. Good, or because that Ron Turner before he went to Illinois, he was good, right?
Yeah.
About Ron Turner when he came back to the Bears, and you know what I'm saying, yeah, like that. And we thought we was like, man, we getting a college coach that's gonna come up here and he's gonna tear it up. But go ahead, please continue.
So that was 09, and then Mike Martz in 2010 and 2011. You had Mike Tice in 2012, and technically it was Aaron Cromer for those 2 years at 13 and 14, but it was Mark Trestman. It was Mark Trestman. Like it was in title only, okay. But technically it was Aaron Cromer, and then Adam Gase in 2015, and then
Adam Gase was doing his thing.
Yeah, he was, and that was the Cutler's best year. And then he went to the offensive guru himself, the prodigy. Dow Loggins.
Dow.
Man, listen, we absolved Lovey for the son pimping thing. We can't absolve him for his part in that fiasco. The fact that for me, from the outside looking in, he always kind of feared being Ron Rivera. You know what I'm saying? Like once that kind of happened, where Ron Rivera was that guy that was sitting in the wings that could take his spot. Lovey never really brought in anybody else that could snap the spot up.
Yeah, never. So just a little reminder as to what he had to go through. Yeah, let's talk about them White Sox, man. Yesterday, Lewis Robert, the Kansas City Royals, they've always played us tough. They get a little close in the 7th inning. And Lewis Robert says, espérate. It's
Royals never give up against the Sox.
Oh boy, there it is. Way out of here. Oh, staircase shot, bring him home. There's that hanging slider on a tee.
He had him exactly where he wanted him and got one that he could handle. We've been waiting for him to pull the ball and see just how far he could hit it. And it's a long way. That's probably 450, 455.
And I love when he goes, he hits the third base coach. He's like, about to give him 5. He's like, they do that to each other.
I can't. Listen. That he has been such a pleasant surprise during hard times that's been taking place this last month or so. Man, that dude is phenomenal. I mean, it's still so crazy to think of what he could be and that he's wearing that black and white.
He's 23, Ken.
Dude.
He hasn't even gotten it yet. The light bulb hasn't even turned on yet.
And on
hasn't even turned on for this dude.
On top of that, basically, let's just say in 2 years when he's fully clicking, he's protected. It's not even like, oh, it's just him. Listen, you may not have, all right, you may put him on first, but then you're going to come up and Jose Abreu is going to be the next guy up there, or Yasmani Grandal, or, you know what I'm saying?
Eloy.
You know what I'm saying? And we talk about him, how he may be in 2 years, and it's like, so what you going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, that kid, man, I hate to say, well, I like saying it, he's frightening, right? Like, listen, nothing but health, and he continued to grind it out, but he is frightening. And I sit there and think about when they signed him, and it was like, all right, because they had to go get some more, and they messed with their international money.
So they signed him for $26 million, and because they went over the allotment, they got fined $26 million. So they're $52 million into this kid before he even swung a bat at the major league level.
And
$52 million into the kid.
It's so worth it. It's so worth it, right? Hey, but listen, for them to do that, it's so freaking like, and
you know how Reisdorf is with money.
Yeah, you know like, you know, think about them coming. Listen, I'm gonna tell you. I'll say this much: we diss Kenny Williams because Kenny is the guy that has to see these players like Abreu and be like, yeah, let's do it. We diss them, but think about how they had to go tell Jerry like, no, he's gonna be the one. Like, they didn't sign him to
They're going to lose $52 million. They're going to set up for 26. They sign 26, but he's worth it. And they get Jerry to agree to it.
Right. So they have to be saying, listen, they have to be telling him all the plaudits that this kid is going to be just a top-notch player and everything. And now it's coming to fruition. Dude, it's crazy. And I feel like you said, like, even with just scratching the top as far as hitting, I still feel like we haven't even uncovered all of the fielding yet. You know what I'm saying? And the base running. So, I mean, like, oh, man, dude, listen, do that again, Ivan. Put that up there one more time.
Royals never give up against the Sox.
Oh, boy, there it is. Way out of here. Oh, staircase shot. Bring him home. There's that hanging slider on a tee.
He had him exactly where he wanted him and got one that he could handle. We've been waiting for him to pull the ball and see just how far he could hit it. And it's a long way. That's probably 450, 455.
I appreciate that, Ivan. Thank you. Dude.
You talked about it so this might not even be Jose Abreu, but you still got around Luis Robert. You're going to have TA7.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have Yo-Yo. You're going to have Eloy. You know, may or may not have Abreu. You know, in 2 years, are they going to sign him to a one-year deal after he's out? But then you still got Grandal.
Vaughn may be up there.
You're right. Vaughn might be up. Man, and so imagine what he can do when you stack, just drop him in the middle of those guys. Like he's gonna be the unproven, the quote unquote weak link until he starts getting all these pitches and he starts raking. And then where you gonna go, dude? This kid is, it sounds weird. Like I hate to sound like such a homer and get off his nuts, but God bless him, man. This dude is like, I've never seen this guy. Something like this in Chicago, dude.
I'm with you. I'm like, that's what makes it. Listen, when me and you were first talking about this a month ago, that's what makes it so crazy. And I was like, dude, he basically clearly he can be a top 3 to 5 player in MLB. I like it. It sounds, this being so early, it sounds preposterous, but it's just the fact, right? It's just the fact. And it's like we're at the beginning, dude. We're at the beginning basically, and it's not even like he's really truly slumped. It's better, and I know it was a larger sample size last year. It's better than what we got from Eloy, and Eloy got hurt, right? So we didn't get a full Eloy,
and he still had 31 homers.
I was about to say, and we were still hyped with what we got from him. And like this dude is out there, like it's crazy. Like, oh man, I'm happy. I must say this. I am happy that the MLB has tried to get this done because we wouldn't have gotten this. And this has definitely been a respite in challenging times to be able to watch this Sox team all right, playing as well as they've been playing, even though they lost a series to the Twins, which slightly breaks my heart. But I know where we're going. And we saw this last year where it was like, you know what, this might work, because before last season, we thought we got duped. All right. Before last season, it was like, man, we lost on those trades, right? That's how it was before Yohan just took off, before TA led the league in averaging and Yohan was third in average in the league. We were like, okay, before Eloy showed us what he could do even in a limited time because he was hurt. And it was like, wait, we did win on these trades or whatever. Because being a Sox fan, they've made a lot of trades. And one, the players the Sox traded didn't become anything, and the players they brought in didn't become who they thought they were. All right. I know we all remember Jeremy Reed, right? Chris Young with like the players that we was like, man, it was Jeremy Reed, and you trade Jeremy Reed to Seattle and nothing happened to Jeremy Reed, right? Think about it. That was our top prospect, right? Like, so we didn't have anything in our farm system. And to actually see the farm system be fruitful for once, and they're not single tool players. These guys are tool players. It's like, dude. So like, yeah, I was looking at I forgot. I don't know if it was ESPN or maybe an Athletic the other day, and the Sox were in the middle. They were 15th as far as farm system. And I think they still had Kopech and Nick Magical as far as being in the farm system, which is not bad when you talk about where most of these guys are coming up, that you're ranked still in the top half of the MLB. So, dude, let's keep it going, guys. Let's keep it going.
With something like that, Kenneth, I'm okay with, because all the prospects, the top prospects, they're up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so it's going to take a hit. You know what I mean? So now we got to replenish it, but we don't need to replenish. I mean, it's not of dire importance. I mean, I shouldn't say that, because it's always dire that you replenish. But like, we're not waiting for anybody else.
Right.
You know, these guys are 21, 22, 23 years old, right? 25 years old. Give me another 7 solid seasons. You know what I'm saying? We're in that window. So them being 15th I'm okay with that.
I'm okay too.
You talked about the home runs, dude. We got 3 guys in double-digit home runs. You got Abreu with 12. You got Jimenez and Lou Bob with 11. But then you got TA 7. He's got 7 homers. You know that's going to hit double digits. Yohan, if he can get a little healthier, he's at 5. Okay. And Juan Edwin Encarnacion, he's at 7. You know that joker's going to get 10.
In this short season. We're gonna have
6 guys with double-digit home runs. You know, that's awesome. And I didn't check Grandal. Where's let me double check and see where Grandal is. He's only got 4.
Okay.
4. He may get there, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But 5 or 6 guys with double-digit homers in a 60-game season.
Right, dude. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So
think about what they would have had if this was a regular full season.
Yeah.
The numbers would be crazy right now, dude. Be crazy if they could have played a whole season. Yeah, dude. It's definitely. I'm happy to get this taste of the future for the White Sox, and I mean, hopefully, they build on this going into next year. You know, so I hope perhaps there'll be a spring training. But yeah, dude, this has been fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is really. And I hate to say this. I mean, because I think they're going to make the playoffs. All right. Because one, how the system's rigged anyway, with 16 teams get in there, they should make it. If they don't make it, it's basically an atrocity. But I'm happy. I guess is the point that I'm trying to get to. Like, I'm pleased with what I've seen. It's time probably. I don't know. We talked about this perhaps in making a trade, but this offseason, you probably just need to go pay a pitcher. You know what I'm saying? You need to go, instead of trading away something, go and just pay somebody some money to come up in here and get somebody a little Dallas Keuchel deal or whatever, and let the rest of them go. Let the rest of these pitchers grow, and let's go hunting for that World Series championship, man. Let's do it. Let's take these Twins down, man. I'm sick of them. I'm really trying to tell you, Shawn, I'm sick of them.
Dude, you and me both, man. From the Justin Morneau days. And,
yeah, dude. Y'all, why would you go there? Why would you go there? Right? Like,
Hunter.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And then who was the pitcher that gave us a
Joe Nathan. In the back of
Carter.
I know you're talking about. Yeah, I know you had you're talking about what's the name that went to the Mets.
Johan Santana.
Johan Santana. Oh,
that Mother Hubbard.
He used to
Mother Hubbard, boy.
Oh man,
that son of a biscuit. He's on the bump. I'm like, only thing we can do is Only thing we do is throw Chris Sale out there and like hope, you know what I'm saying? Because Chris Sale was legit. Don't get me wrong. But Johan just like son of a gun, man. Like how are we gonna score on this dude? You know?
I wish his career was good in New York as it was here because he's kind of forgotten about. But in the Central, boy, he was the man.
Yeah, he was.
That sucker was nasty, man. Oh no! Why do we do this today? We were having a good time. Oh man!
But you know what? It just makes us appreciate what we have now so much more.
Yeah, man. But still,
I'll tell you what. You know what? Lucas Giolito, that Joker, no punk, and especially now that he's with McCann, he's got his outings. I know Maya's not a Lucas Giolito guy, but hey. To each their own. You can have whoever you want. I'll take Lucas Giolito because he's gotten more consistent in my book. And now that he's got his personal catcher in James McCann, and we talked about it yesterday on Monday. Like they need to sign that dude.
I was just gonna say, dude, go. You may as well do that now. You may as well just go ahead. Just have 2 good backstops anyway. Why not? You know what I'm saying? But you may as well, and also it gives you more time to sit there and play either one and sub at first for Jose or put him at DH. It's not even listen. If you like Lucas Giolito, if you're going to pay Lucas Giolito money, you better pay his catcher money. That's what's the point that I'm trying to make. And you're going to end up paying. You're going to pay Lucas Giolito. It's not even. He's getting paid after this season. If he keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to be the next cat getting paid. And if you're going to pay him, then you may as well play McCann too, because it doesn't make any sense to try to bring somebody up in here to try to learn Giolito and who basically has mind melded like a Vulcan and can take care of him. And no, dude, I've been thinking that for weeks. Like it's a wrap. Go ahead. The question though is if he wants to sit there and still have limited times as a backstop or perhaps go out there and be someone's front line guy. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the only thing. Does he want more money? Does he want starter money? And if he does, you can't be mad at him. Or do you want to say, hey, you know what, give me another 2-year deal? I mean, because McCann's a little older, so it's not like he's got another 5 to 7 years left in him. Is it time for him to go and try and get that big paper? Or are you happy with, hey, trying to get a World Series because obviously he sees what's here. He knows what's here.
Right.
So that you talk about a conundrum. Yeah, that's quite the deal. Hey, listen, we're gonna make it a 3-way tag team match right now. We're gonna bring in our guy. He's gonna take the baton from me at the at the top of the hour, 11 o'clock. We want to have all 3 of us in here and have a little round robin discussion. And he's one of the hosts of the hottest show on SportsZone Chicago, and that's What's Up, Cuz, along with his cousin Lance C. Irvin, the men's head basketball coach at Chicago State. Just want to bring him in. You can find him on Twitter at Jaycoyden. That's JAYCOYDEN. Guys, just welcome to Shawn and Maya, Jason Palmer. Jason, what's up, Papa?
What's going on, fellas? Enjoying Labor Day, baby. Enjoying this Labor Day weekend. Got my feet kicked up and they're in the foot massager.
Oh my God, you couldn't even sit up with this. He's like, massager.
Got my massager going.
Massager my feet.
What can I say, baby? It's September the 4th. I got my Maurice White picture in the background.
Earth, Wind, and Fire back there.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. September. I've been playing September.
I love it. I love it. One of my favorite Earth, Wind, and Fire songs.
Oh my God. Gotta play.
Yeah. So let's join in on this conversation, man. We'll talk a little White Sox with you, and then talk a little Bears, which will lead us into our guest, Lauren Cox. Talk about that homer yesterday, that Lou Bob hit, man. That was just unfreaking believable.
Yeah, he crushed that. He crushed that, man. That ball you could see as soon as he swung. That was going a long way. A long way.
As soon as he hit it, I jumped up and like, poof. All right, I can turn the game off. I can go do what I got to do because that's game.
Yeah, that was an incredible shot. And I was thinking about it, Shawn, when it happened. I wrote it down because I knew I was coming on today. I said, Robert's bats are becoming what Frank Thomas's bats were when he was in his prime, where it's now must-watch TV, where you're starting the time, okay, he should be coming up in about 20 minutes. Let me go run and do this real quick. Blah, 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 and get back because I don't want to miss his at-bats. He's becoming that level, and he's only been playing 5 weeks. So that is absolutely incredible. that, a dude has only been in the league for 5 weeks. We like, I cannot miss this dude when he come up to bat, man. I'm timing when I go to the bathroom. I'm timing conversations with my wife. Like, oh, baby, give me 5 minutes. Be right back. He's must-watch TV, and it's very exciting as a White Sox fan and just a baseball fan to see that this young man's just starting to scratch the surface. But what I'm most impressed with it is, when we talked last week, Shawn, I said the one thing I need to see him start doing is laying off that outside slider, and he's gotten better with it. He's getting better with it. They threw it last night a few times, and he laid off of it, and I think that's the first step. And then the next step will be him consistently taking it the other way, as Jose Abreu does.
As Tim Anderson did yesterday.
And as Tim Anderson does. Yeah, I think, that's the next level of learning after he learns to lay off of them is the ones that are out there that are still hittable for him to just drive that ball into that right center field gap. And once he does that, the league is in trouble.
Jason, the guy's 23. He's a rookie, and you said it. He's been in the league 5 weeks. Like, we're talking like, okay, we're like next level stuff to get. He's been in the league 5 weeks. He's one of the top players in WAR. You know what I mean? His power is off the chain. Like Jason Benetti said, it's cannon fire sometimes when you hear the ball come off of his bat. Steve Stone asked yesterday, he goes, I wonder if, because they were talking about one of the beat writers for the Twins had the ball. I guess he tweeted out yesterday he got the ball from Luis Roberts' home run. And Steve Stone said, I wonder if that ball is flat on one side.
Yeah, kind of like them balls Ken used to play strikeout with back in the day. The rubber ball.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then one half of the ball just fell off, so it was like flat.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Or somebody take a plug out of one of them bad boys.
Oh man, you call it fast. What do you call it? Strikeout. We call it fast pitch. But yeah, the same thing.
I can see the project wall now where the black outline was spray painted right there, right? You know what I'm saying? I can see it from 26 in the PCs where I spent some of my life growing up. I can see it even right now. That was big time stuff back in the day. Also, real quick, while I'm all up in your background, I didn't know because where your head was, the goat is behind your other shoulder. See, I liked you, but I like you some more.
Yeah,
I like you some more.
Yeah,
all right. I'm a huge Prince guy. All right, probably one of the greatest concerts I've ever been to. I'm vibing with you, Jason. I'm vibing with you. I'm vibing with you. What you got going on over there?
Yeah, the greatest halftime in Super Bowl history was
rain
Prince with the rain down there, and I was down there.
Regular rain.
Oh, it was storming.
Was it purple rain or was it regular rain?
It was regular. I mean, still one of the most incredible sports experiences I ever had when I was down there for the Bears for the Super Bowl, and didn't go down there for the game, just went down there for the entire atmosphere. And I told Shawn the story, but Ken, basically we went down there, and the Chicago Bears fans, we basically commandeered a bar on South Beach. Like Chicago people literally kicked out everyone from Indianapolis, just told them, y'all get the hell up out of here or we're going to whoop y'all ass. And they left. And it was like 300-400 Chicago Bears fan of all races. And when Devin Hester took that opening kickoff, I've never experienced the amount of noise in a small area. It was like the place just erupted. Wow. And just one of the best experiences I ever had. So, when I got grown and had me some money, I said, I'm definitely going to get me one of them big portfolios of Prince performing in the rain. It was just unbelievable. If we'd have just kept running the ball, we'd have won the Super Bowl. But,
Right. Because Peyton Manning wasn't even playing well that game.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, dude. That I agree, man. But yeah, that was I like that story. I appreciate you giving me that one, man.
Hey, well, listen, guys, we got to take a quick break. Ken, thanks, buddy. We appreciate it, man. We will see you on Wednesday because we're going to take the day off on Monday. I don't even know what time I'm wake up on Monday because Sunday's about to get it in. Probably going to go to Michigan for the first half of the day, try and get a little bit of sun, come back, and since there's nothing going on Monday, I will not be responsible for my actions on Sunday night. So I don't even know what I'm about to get into.
Well, both of y'all have great weekends and be safe, man.
You too, bro.
All right, now, guys, that was Kenneth Davis from That's Davis Show. Sitting in with us, and we gotta take a quick break because on the other side of the break, we're gonna talk to our guy Lauren Cox from the Locked On Bears podcast. He also writes for the Bears Wire. So don't go anywhere, folks. Coming up next, Lauren Cox right here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago.
BoomerNaturals.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone.
Caratini hits a ground ball right side. Base hit past a diving Frazier. The Cubs are going to get on the board. Here comes Schwarber to score.
Cubs radio, Vic Caratini's RBI single giving Chicago a 1-0 lead over the Pirates. Wasn't enough, though. The Cubs fell 6-2, 4 runs on 7 hits over 5 full as Alec Mills drops to 3-3.
As Jose Abreu will bat with the bases loaded and 2 outs. 3-1 White Sox. First pitch swinging. High fly ball. Left center field. Gordon going back. Turns and watches it. Bangs off the bottom of the wall. 1 run's going to score. Anderson's in. Right behind him is Grandal. There's a play at the plate. He'll slide in, and he is out at home plate.
White Sox radio with the call. Jose Abreu's 2-run double, helping lead the Sox past Kansas City 11-6. Boomer Naturals, your source for 3-layer protective face masks. Breathable protection for adults and kids. Save 20% with promo code SPORTS at BoomerNaturals.com. Chuck Sanders, that's the Sports Flash 1330 95.9 The Zone.
Introducing Peacock, the new free streaming service from NBC Universal. And the only one that's trending, up to date, around the clock, what you need from who you know. With storm fronts, stand-ups, live news, and points of view.
And that's Nightly News. I'm Lester Holt.
And that's why you can't not watch. Peacock. Watch for free. Upgrade for more. Stream now at peacocktv.com. Content availability may vary over time.
If you knew there was an energy shot that also helped you lose weight, would you try it? Real Ketones Keto Energy Shots give you sustained energy without the sugar jitters or crash. That's why Keto Energy Shots constantly get 5-star reviews. The secret is our patented all-natural ingredient DBHB. This powerful ingredient revs up your metabolism and turns your body into a fat-burning machine in only minutes. Feel energized while shredding unwanted pounds. Pull into a CVS now and look for Keto Energy Shots in the weight loss aisle, or go to realketones.com.
Guys, welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago. And you know what? I'm fired up to talk to my next guest. We haven't had him on. It's been over a month now. Man, what was I thinking? Apparently I wasn't. So we're going to bring him back on. I am fired up to have him on. He is the host of the Locked On Bears podcast. He also writes about the Bears on the Bears Wire. A great friend of the program. You can find him on Twitter at Cox Sports One, like Fox Sports One, but with a C. Guys, let's welcome back to Shawn and Maya, our good friend Lauren Cox. Lauren, what's up, Papa? How are you, buddy?
Hey, happy to be back, my man. It's been crazy times, but football.
Hold on, player. Hold on, player. What shirt are you wearing?
Lakers.
Locked On.
Oh, okay. I know you're up in Wisconsin too, and I was like, whoa. I was like, Royks, Raggy. Whoa, it had those, the waste management colors on there. I'm like, what? Whoa, okay. Don't play with me like that.
Our founder is the voice of the Utah Jazz, so they're Utah Jazz colors. That's how we got stuck with them.
Okay. Oh, well. I was like, don't tell me you matriculated and they've converted you. I was like, Lauren, dude, no way.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man. Hey, well, let's get right to it, man. It's been a while since we've been on, and good to have you back. Let's get it, man. A week away. The Bears are starting. Talk to me. We'll leave the 800-pound elephant in the room, a gorilla in the room. Well, he's in the corner. We'll leave him there. We'll get to him in a second. What are we doing for running back? The Washington Slurs just cut AP. So, the Bears had a shot at it with Leonard Fournette, but they're like, nah, we don't need him because he only had 1,100 yards and 500 yards catching last year, so he doesn't fit our offense. In the mud and in the slush and the rain in the end of the season, we don't need a guy like that. So, what are the Bears going to do for a running back? Because I'll tell you what, Cordell Patterson to me is not a running back. He's a gimmick guy. And what if David Montgomery gets hurt? How about just have a nice little 1-2 combo with another running back? What are they going to do?
Well, Matt Nagy continues to say he's super confident in the running backs that they have. They feel really good about, Cordell Patterson coming along, Tariq Cohen.
Oh, Ryan Null.
A little more. Yeah, Ryan Null in there as well. But I share some of your trepidation. I do feel like if, with David Montgomery's groin injury currently, they said 2 to 4 week probably recovery time, and that was about 2 weeks. We're approaching 2 weeks ago. So it's possible he could be ready for week 1. Maybe at most he's going to miss weeks 1 and 2 if that timeline proves to be correct. So I don't know. I do feel like you can get by for 2 games with the Tariq Cohen, Ryan Nall, Cordero Patterson running game. I think we're going to see more Patterson than we're expecting. I kind of look back to what the Patriots did with him in 2018. They kept it pretty simple. It was a lot of like I formation, outside zone, or just like gap scheme duo, pound him up the middle. Kind of keep it simple. Don't make him have to think too much. Just let him follow a fullback in particular and treat it like a kickoff return, basically. So I would expect to see more Ryan Nall at fullback, more JP Holtz at fullback, some more I formation like we saw dabbles of last season. And I think they're kind of counting on their offensive line to be the big difference with David Montgomery out.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Well, first of all, of course, I was being facetious, but about that. But I know there's going to be a lot of people cuts are on Saturday, so there's going to be a lot more running backs out there. If they don't bring one in, I will be livid. There are going to be some big names. You already see some big names being cut. Adrian Peterson was cut by Washington, and who knows who else is going to be available on the street. But since you mentioned the offensive line, let's talk about that, man, because I'm I'm leery because of the offensive line.
Yeah.
So get rid of a guy who has a very great offensive line coach, and Harry Heastand. The unit didn't perform very well. Okay, you had 2 tackles who had down years. Okay. Your left guard was your center, and your center was your left guard, or your vice versa, or vice versa. You got to get that figured out. And then you lost the heart and soul, the snowplow of the team. He just takes everything out of his way, and Kyle Long. And you expect the running game to do well when you don't commit to it. So now you got a new offensive coordinator, very well respected in Juan Castillo, but he wasn't in the league last year. Now players have to learn a new terminology, maybe a new scheme. How do you expect this running game, and especially with David Montgomery hurt and no true backup to this point, how do you expect this run game to be potent at all?
Well, it seems like the Bears are counting on the offensive line coaching change and, the new offensive coordinator coming from Cincinnati where they had a little bit more success running the ball. It seems like they're counting on coaching staff changes being the big difference, considering, you got one starter changing with Jermaine Ifedi, and otherwise they're running it back with the same guys. I did think the other day Charles Leno made a good point during his press conference that I hadn't realized, that with James Daniels now locked in at left guard and Cody Whitehair locked in at center, this is the first training camp where Charles Leno and James Daniels have been able to work next to each other full time. His rookie season, Daniels was kind of rotating between both guard spots and center. Last season, James Daniels was a center for all of training camp before halfway through the season, they flipped him. So this is the first time that left side all the way to the center is getting to work together for a full training camp, for a bunch of practices to really build that cohesion and gel there so that they're always going to be on the same page. The right side of the offensive line is where the confidence is short for me with Jermaine Ifedi and Bobby Massey, both probably average at best at their positions. But I feel like, you get some more fullback in there, you get a little bit more of an identity in a running game and call it more consistently, have more of a defined scheme practice that, it's not just Matt Nagy kind of calling it whenever and however he wants, but really kind of working concepts in there, working play action off of those concepts, keeping defenses guessing. There's some opportunity there for not only the running backs to be better than they were last year, but the scheme to be better than they were last year. And given that the offensive line was so far below expectations, you would think they have to come back up at least a little bit. It doesn't seem like the guys that, Charles Leno has talent, James Daniels has talent, Cody Whitehair has talent. They're not going to be that bad for a whole other season. They got to come up a little bit. And maybe even though Juan Castillo and Harry Heastand are both very respected offensive line coaches, maybe just a slightly different voice and a slightly different teaching style might click a little better for them. We'll see.
Hey, Lauren, my question is, I think the Bears at this point, their deepest position actually is kickoff returner and punt returner. I think, with Ted Ginn Jr. and you also got Cordero back there, I think that could be a potent weapon on kickoffs and getting this team field position, which we know is going to be a key based off of the offense. Do we have any idea who Nagy is going to tend to go with on the punt returns, though? Because obviously you can't have both of them in there.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Tariq Cohen kind of continue in the punt return role with Cordero Patterson pretty well taking the kickoffs. I was just double checking here. Ted Ginn hasn't done a whole lot of kickoffs in the last few seasons in New Orleans, and they really didn't have him doing too many punts either. It was sort of, now that he's like, 34 and in this late stage of his career, it's not that he's lost a step per se. I mean, he's not as fast as he was when he was 25. I mean, who is? But I think it's more so you don't want to overwork him at this stage. You want to kind of spread him out there and get the most out of him when he is on the field. So if he's having to do kickoffs and punts and play as your number 3 wide receiver, he might not have the same durability and the same endurance to do all that for your team. So I would expect a lot of Cordero Patterson and Tariq Cohen back there. Maybe Darnell Mooney, the rookie, can get some more opportunities there while Ted Ginn gets the opportunities on offense. But I think they want him to sort of be that deep speed threat that, for whatever reason, Taylor Gabriel just wasn't able to do consistently.
Mm-hmm. And then my second question is, I'm looking at them not going after Fournette and, saying that they're comfortable with the running game. I'm a little bit different than Shawn on this. I think he's just telling you he's going to keep doing what he's been doing and just throwing the ball. He does not care about the running game. Now, he's not going to come out and say, I don't care about the running game. But I think it's obviously they don't care. They just want to throw the ball. Is that kind of what you're getting from Nagy?
Everyone's talking about this new offensive identity at training camp practices. They're all saying that, oh yeah, we're feeling more of a running game presence, but you get to the game and things are going to always go different. I mean, the heat of the moment when Matt Nagy's calling plays and it's 3rd and 1 and he needs to pick up a first down, does he have that trust in his short yardage running game and in his offensive line? Or is he going to say, no, I've got the pass play. I got the route concept. I know this play always worked for us in Kansas City when we're throwing on 3rd and short. So that's where I'm like, it's great to practice it, and but I'm sure they practiced the running game a ton last year, and they called plenty of runs at practice in preseason last year and in training camp practices last year. And then you get to the regular season, and the real bullets are flying, and the crap hits the fan, and you got to convert, and you're down by 7, and whatever the situation is, you're feeling that pressure because maybe your offense hasn't been as consistent as you want it to be. Is Matt Nagy going to trust that running game, that offensive line, and his running backs? You would think, given the quarterback instability, that he might, but it seems like last year there was so much instability everywhere. It's hard to know who to trust. So I think he'll start out trying to dedicate himself to the running game more, but if it stops working, I wonder how well he'll stick to it long term.
Guys, we're joined by Lauren Cox. He's a host of the Locked On Bears podcast. He also writes about the Bears, the Bears Wire, talking obviously Bears football right here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago. So let's get into we got the running backs. Let's get into the wide receivers. My hope is that the youngsters can finally step up. That you got them on a contract for a couple of years. I'm talking about Javon Wims. You got Riley Ridley. I really need those guys. How those guys been in camp? Because I think those guys really, really need the opportunity, and I really think they need with that opportunity, they need to step up and make big plays. We hear about Riley Ridley's route running, how precise it is. Javon Wims, I'm still a big fan of. Not a legitimate, a precise route runner, but he has that go up and get it ability, which he did at Georgia. Ted Ginn Jr., Darnell Mooney, Anthony Miller. We're expecting a big season from him. His shoulder can stay in place. And then Allen Robinson. Talk to me about this wide receiver crew and how do you think they're going to do if these quarterbacks aren't on their ass the whole time because of the offensive line?
Yeah. I'm keeping my expectations low for Javon Wims and Riley Ridley in particular. I think especially with Ted Ginn brought in, and then Darnell Mooney sounds like he's been getting some work even with the first team at practice. I know Allen Robinson was sitting out some with minor injuries, so they were getting some different guys mixed in there. But it seems to me like we're not going to see the same kind of opportunities for those younger receivers as we might have thought entering this time of year. So I would expect a heavy dose of Allen Robinson, Anthony Miller, and even Ted Ginn and Darnell Mooney mixed in there a little bit, but I'm not sure that Ridley and Wims are going to be quite having those same opportunities. They'll mix in there a little bit. They'll get a few opportunities, but my expectations for them are definitely low.
Hey, Lauren, how are the Bears right now health-wise, with the exception of David Montgomery? I know not having a preseason game, you definitely eliminate the risk of injuries going into your first game of the regular season.
Yeah, this is one of those best-kept secrets around Hallis Hall, it seems like, where the media is not allowed to report practice status and certainly not depth chart, spots and who's getting too many reps and different things. So quietly, there were a lot of players that were sitting out practices. And like, for example, Robert Quinn didn't practice for a long time. It wasn't until like a week or so ago that he was really back out there practicing fully with Khalil Mack and everybody else. Allen Robinson missing some time, Akeem Hicks missing some time, a lot of different guys, all with very soft tissue injuries. Like the only big one has been David Montgomery up to this point. I mean, they've had a couple of, Artie Burns, of course, tore his ACL, but outside of those guys, it's been just sort of the nicks and bruises that you would expect, having had no OTAs, no mini camps, no practices with the team up until this training camp period. So I don't know whether, I'm not a doctor. I don't know whether to be concerned about all these soft tissue injuries or if this is just a summer's worth of soft tissue injuries condensed into a 2-week practice period. So, it's the same number. It's just not as spread out as it normally is over the course of a year. Either way, guys are going in maybe a little bit less than 100%, but is that going to lead to more injuries, or are they able to get back to 100%? I think we have a lot of veterans on this team that are pretty used to playing through little nicks and bruises like this. So I'm not overly concerned. I think I'm still concerned that COVID-19 might make its way into multiple NFL teams and really affect this season.
Yeah, and that's a legitimate concern. So let's talk about the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Who do you got starting the season, Mitch or Nick?
This one, I can't help but feel like Mitch is the incumbent. Mitch is the betting favorite at this point, just because he is the starter from last season. He is the guy who's worked the most with these receivers. And by all accounts, neither quarterback has particularly dominated the other. And I think that's sort of what we were hoping for, that after a couple weeks of these padded practices, the team could say, you know what, Nick Foles has just been great. He's clearly the upgrade at quarterback that we were looking for. And sorry, Mitch, you're going to start on the bench. It sounds like Mitch has been making some of course, quarterbacks are going to make mistakes at practices. You want them to test themselves and to try different things, because practice is the time to make mistakes, so then you don't make them again during games. But it doesn't necessarily sound like either one has been this stellar Pro Bowl caliber lockdown quarterback, and neither one is going to be drastically different than what they've been throughout their career. But you can kind of feel the narrative of how this season is going to go, right? Mitch Trubisky starts week 1, plays pretty well against the Lions because he always does, maybe beats up on the Giants a little bit. Then the schedule gets tough. You got Tampa Bay, Indianapolis, some other playoff teams, New Orleans Saints get you about mid-season. And maybe those caliber of opponents, you start to see Mitch struggle right around mid-season, or even going into like that bye week, week 11, I think, off the top of my head. You make that change to Nick Foles. He comes in for that second half of the season, wins some key divisional games, maybe gets you up to 9, 10, 11 wins into the playoffs, and then see what playoffs Nick Foles can do. That's what the narrative of this season feels like right now. And I think the Bears benefit more from starting Mitch Trubisky week 1 and seeing what he can be, rather than starting Nick Foles week 1. Because I think if you start Trubisky week 1, you could feel confident going to Nick Foles off the bench. But if I start Nick Foles week 1, I don't know that I have much confidence in bringing Trubisky off the bench later in the season.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I think it'd ruin his confidence.
Yeah.
I think you bench him now. He's done. He's done. I think you have to start him. You have to give him one more opportunity to see if he can lead this team, because if you bench him, he is now benched unless Nick Foles gets injured. And if he's benched, he's checked out completely mentally. I think, Shawn, we saw a lot of that last year when, he did get benched during games. You could just see it in the kid's eyes. He did not look the same.
Yeah, but he's got. Here's the thing: this is the NFL, and he's got a guy now. Like when he was benched, he was mad because the team couldn't win. For all intents and purposes, Chase Daniels. Now there's a guy who could take your job, and this is a guy. And I know you help each other and trying to do the best for the team, but this is a guy who in Nick Foles who can end your career. Because if Nick Foles plays well, guess what? You're buried at the end of the bench. And so my question to you, Lauren, is: do you think he's matured enough? The thing that you mentioned earlier, you stole my thunder because I was going to ask you the question, was the fact that none of these quarterbacks have risen and taken control of that job. Does that concern you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it sort of speaks to some of the process originally where, you choose to bring in, you trade for Nick Foles and it reduces contract, but still give a draft pick to get him in an offseason when there were so many quarterbacks available, guys that maybe could have been more complete upgrades. You can argue the merits of each one, but obviously Tom Brady probably wasn't coming to Chicago, but Phillip Rivers, Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, a lot of guys that have been successful NFL starters out there. And they opt for Foles as the guy who can come off the bench and can be a backup if he's unable to beat Trubisky. So I definitely have concerns that neither one was truly able to kind of step up and take over. I think Mitch will handle the situation fairly maturely. And I think to some extent with Nick Foles, he seems like a guy that, obviously throughout his career, he's never played a 16-game season. And in the seasons that he started week one, he hasn't played all that well. So I can't help but wonder if he's a guy that can sit on the bench for the first, 6, 8, 10 weeks of the season and watch Trubisky and see the mistakes Trubisky makes, see the good throws Trubisky makes as well, but mostly sort of learn and watch Trubisky in this offense with these receivers in game situations and be able to say, if I was out there, I would have done this differently. I would have thrown here instead. Or I see how Trubisky keeps getting tripped up by this thing, or I see that he keeps hitting this throw that is working really well, and kind of pick up all the nuance of the offense on the bench and then really be able to take that into practice sometime later in the season when he's named a starter at a later point. It just feels like that's what we're headed to, because the alternative, even though I think Mitch has matured a little bit and would still handle it as well as he could, it does feel like as soon as he hits the bench, that's sort of putting a bow on his Bears career.
Yeah, so,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shawn.
Real quick, what you're saying is come in for relief, TBR relief pitcher.
Yeah.
So you play the first 6 to 8 games, and then we got, you come to the comes out in the middle of the field, takes the ball from Mitch, is like, all right, pass him on the butt, like, thanks, kid, and then brings Nick Foles in to close out the season and the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, that was what happened in Philadelphia. Usually it was injury based, but we saw it early in Philadelphia as well with Mike Vick in there, and it just seems to be Nick Foles' comfort role. I don't know what it is. It's one of the weirder career trajectories where we see, the Super Bowl MVP caliber play when he comes in off the bench in the playoffs, and then the first 4 weeks in Jacksonville last year and his starts in St. Louis with the Rams were pretty pitiful as well. He's a weird guy in a weird quarterback situation, and that's part of why he was available this offseason and part of why it always felt like a little bit of a weird plan at quarterback.
Yeah, I got a two-part question for you, Lauren, and it's related to COVID and what are the kind of backup plans for this. The first part is, has the NFL released anything on what they're going to do if they have a situation like we had in baseball with the Cardinals or the Marlins? They were basically out for almost over a week. The Cardinals 2 weeks and not being able to play games. Obviously, you can't do doubleheaders in football. So is there a contingency plan for that aspect? And then the second part of this question is, as it relates to the Bears fans and people who hold those seat licenses and all that stuff, which are very expensive, have the Bears announced anything that they're doing special for people who forked over that money for those licenses? Are they giving them a 2-for-1 deal, anything like that? Have you heard from the Bears?
I don't think the Bears have made anything super concrete. I think, if you had season tickets for this year, everything will sort of transfer over to next year if you don't, assuming fans aren't allowed in the stadium at any point this season. But in terms of COVID-19 and outbreaks, the NFL says they have contingency plans and they're working on plans, but they haven't really publicly said, okay, here's what happens if we have to cancel a game. But I would imagine we could see a season where not every team plays a full 16-game slate, because eventually the playoffs have to start at the same time for everybody. And I mean, maybe they could take your bye week away, and it seems like it's too complicated to switch everybody's schedule around. If you're supposed to play, the Lions 1 week and you have to miss it for COVID, you can't just give you a bye week there and then take the Lions whenever your bye week is supposed to be, because the Lions have a different opponent that week. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine we'd look at teams that just play fewer games than others this season if they had to be canceled like that. But I think from a Bears perspective, one of the things the NFL is doing is they're letting you keep two extra players. Well, so 6 extra players on your practice squad, 16 instead of 10. But then also you're allowed to take 2 of those practice squad players and make them part of your active roster while still being on the practice squad if you keep 8 offensive linemen active on game day. So I would expect NFL teams across the board to keep more offensive linemen on their active roster as a result. So they'll have 8 active on game day, and then 2 of their 16 practice squad players can be part of your active roster on a game week. So then you don't have to keep your third quarterback as part of your 53. You can have him on your practice squad, but then be able to call him up easily without even having to negotiate a contract or go through any of those hoops. So I would expect the practice squad to be a really key part of team building this year with those extra spots. You're also allowed to keep full veterans on the practice squad. I don't remember the exact number, but you can keep guys who wouldn't normally be practice squad eligible with you on the practice squad. So the Bears are going to kind of keep a whole second roster. I would imagine a quarterback, a running back, a couple receivers, a couple offensive linemen, a couple tight ends, a couple of defensive linemen. You can really get one of everybody, maybe even a kicker, maybe even Cairo Santo on the practice squad. It feels weird, but it's going to be a weird season.
Yeah, I think that's the theme of 2020 is going to be a weird season. That's probably what they should call it. And I guess my final question for you is, without there being a preseason, without there being any college football, with COVID going on, we're all working from home. My wife didn't even realize it was Labor Day coming up the other day on our walk. I think everybody's schedule is so out of whack right now. I don't feel the same energy going into this NFL season as in years past from fans. I don't think there's been that buildup. What are you getting from fans? We're kicking off here in 9 days. Chicago usually on NFL kickoff day is bananas. People can't go hang out. What are you seeing from a fan vibe perspective of Chicago fans?
Yeah, I think it's hard because we're all separated and isolated to feel a lot of that energy. But I think quietly it's been building for a while because we haven't had football for a while, because we haven't had much normalcy in any sort of aspect of life. Getting into some of that routine again of like noon kickoffs on Sunday, even if it's not going to be the same tailgating, it's not going to be quite the same watch parties in theory, but I think quietly we're all pretty darn football starved. I think we're seeing some of that intensity, at least, on social media and from a distance in some of these playoff basketball games we're seeing and some baseball games as well. But I think we're very ready for Bears football. I think there's going to be a lot of excitement, even if it's not really like shared and like, it's not able to happen together. We're not going to like feel it the same way, but I think individually us on our couches at home watching these games, I think we're going to be pretty fired up. And more importantly, the players are really fired up. They want to get out there. They haven't been able to hit anybody fully. I mean, they're not really, they're not trying to hit each other hard at practice. Sure. They can't hit their quarterback. Khalil Mack wants to do some damage to Matt Stafford in week 1. I mean, let's be honest. He wants to get out there and throw that guy to the ground. And I think the Bears are going to be able to generate a lot of that energy for themselves, even without fans in the stands. And I'm excited to see these guys out there running because they're going to be like kids playing backyard football. No fans in the stands. You're just playing. You're having fun. You're having a good time, and they are ready to go.
Wow.
Lauren, last question before we let you go, buddy, and I appreciate your time as always because you always give us great stuff. So a couple of teams, Dallas, Jacksonville, Kansas City, Miami, they are going to have fans in the stands to start the season. My question to you is this: is that a competitive advantage to those particular teams? Because if you're able to win a couple of those games, because of your fan crowd, and it's not going to be capacity full, so it's not going to be the normal crowd, the sound that you're going to get, but there's still going to be an energy that you can feed off of from your fans. Is that a competitive advantage? And how could that come back and bite other teams in the rear at the end of the season?
The NFL came out and said they don't think it's a competitive advantage, but it's hard not to think you get something out of it. I guess it's a question of, how much of an advantage does the home team get versus the away team? Because you think about the advantages, of course, noise, but if it's going to be a low capacity, how loud are they going to get compared to maybe other teams are talking about playing louder music or piping in some fan noise, some way so it's not just a silent NFL stadium, because you don't want the sidelines to be able to hear each other necessarily making their play calls. So they're going to add some kind of sound. So how different is that from fan noise? We'll see. I mean, there's going to be energy from the fans, but both teams can kind of get some energy from the fans, even if you're away. If you're on defense and you hear them cheering loud to try and get you to, it's a big third down and they're cheering loud, even though if they're cheering for the other team, it's still that fan noise. It's still that energy, that environment. You're ready to go. I think both teams can get something from crowd noise, even if it might affect the home team and help them a little bit more than it does the road team. Is it going to be the difference between wins and losses? I don't know. I think it's a competitive advantage, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be what's going to swing a Chiefs team, from a win to a loss. We know the Chiefs are pretty good. Maybe the Jaguars can steal one win out of it, but over the course of the season, I think for the most part, it's not going to have a huge effect on the final standings.
Guys, That's our boy, Lauren Cox. You can find him on Twitter at CoxSports1. You can also find him on as the host of the Locked On Bears podcast, as well as for writing for the Bears Wire. Hey, buddy, great stuff. We appreciate it every single time, man. And now we'll be in touch with you more often now that the season is here. Literally, 9 days away?
Yeah.
Nine times.
Next week the season starts. Chiefs Ravens is going to be a lot of fun.
Actually, six days, Shawn. Actually, we got the Thursday kickoff game.
Yeah.
That's right. I wasn't thinking. My goodness, I am fired the freak out.
The season doesn't start till the Bears play, so we got 10 days or whatever.
I guess technically you are right. Yeah. So the hell with the Ravens on the Kansas City Chiefs. They didn't do anything last year anyway. The hell with them.
They got a bum quarterback anyway. It's fine.
Hey, Lauren, great stuff, buddy. We'll be in touch soon, man. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All righty. Guys, that was Lauren Cox from the Locked On Bears podcast. He writes for the Bears Wire as well. Talk a little Bears football. Yeah, I'm fired up. I forgot about the Thursday game.
Yeah.
Man, that Sunday game, I'm telling you what, if the city wants, you know how Chicago is. If the city wants to make their money, if they want to make their money, they just need to go to some bars because those bars are going to be packed.
Yeah.
And a lot of social distancing isn't going to happen. Like, oh, you get fined. Because there's going to be, and plus there's going to be a lot of people at different homes too. Like, all right, just come over to my house and do this. Yeah. But man, it's going to be, that first Sunday game is going to be, man. I mean, you talk about a release of aggression and frustration, and COVID has done a number. The cancellation of sports and the postponement of sports, and the adaptation of seasons, and not hugging your mom or your grandparents or your kids or other family members for so long. It's just going to explode during football season. It's going to be awesome.
I agree. I actually think it's going to explode. I actually think we're going to see the numbers shoot up because I think in the first week people are just going to lose their mind and get caught up in the emotions of everything. And I just pray that we find a vaccine that works for this thing pretty soon.
I concur. Well, listen, we got to take one more break. The last break of the show, the last break of the week, as we head into our holiday weekend, and we're fired up about it. So listen, don't go anywhere. We have more sports conversation. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago.
BoomerNaturals.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone.
Caratini hits the ground ball right side. Base hit past a diving Frazier. The Cubs are going to get on the board. Here comes Schwarber to score.
Cubs radio, Vic Caratini's RBI single giving Chicago a 1-0 lead over the Pirates. Wasn't enough, though. The Cubs fell 6-2, 4 runs on 7 hits over 5 full, as Alec Mills drops to 3-3.
As Jose Abreu will bat with the bases loaded and 2 outs. 3-1 White Sox. First pitch swinging. High fly ball. Left center field. Gordon going back. Turns and watches it. Bangs off the bottom of the wall. 1 run's going to score. Anderson's in. Right behind him is Grandal. There's a play at the plate. He'll slide in, and he is out at home plate.
White Sox radio with the call. Jose Abreu's 2-run double, helping lead the Sox past Kansas City 11-6. Boomer Naturals, your source for 3-layer protective face masks. Breathable protection for adults and kids. Save 20% with promo code SPORTS at BoomerNaturals.com. Chuck Sanders, that's the Sports Flash, 1330 95.9 The Zone.
Introducing Peacock, the new free streaming service from NBC Universal. And the only one that's trending, up to date, around the clock, what you need from who you know. With storm fronts, stand-ups, live news, and points of view.
And that's Nightly News. I'm Lester Holt.
And that's why you can't not watch. Peacock. Watch for free. Upgrade for more. Stream now at peacocktv.com. Content availability may vary over time.
If you knew there was an energy shot that also helped you lose weight, would you try it? Real Ketones Keto Energy Shots give you sustained energy without the sugar, jitters, or crash. That's why Keto Energy Shots constantly get 5-star reviews. The secret is our patented all-natural ingredient DBHB. This powerful ingredient revs up your metabolism and turns your body into a fat-burning machine in only minutes. Feel energized while shredding unwanted pounds. Pull into a CVS now and look for Keto Energy Shots in the weight loss aisle, or go to realketones.com.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago. as we run this final leg of this week's episode with my man Jason Palmer. He is one of the co-hosts of the hottest show on SportsZone Chicago, and that's called What's Up, Cuz, with his cousin Lance C. Urban, the head basketball coach of at Chicago State University. Let's talk about some of the NBA playoffs. Well, first, let's talk NBA, and then we'll get to the playoffs. Give me your thoughts. Steve Nash as the Nets head coach.
Well, point guards traditionally are some of your best coaches. They're your quarterback out there on the court. He's definitely knowledgeable. Guy was a heck of a ball player in his day. But, with coaching, it's all about being able to manage personalities. You also have to worry about the generational differences. Today's players are different than players when Nash first came into the league in terms of how you coach these players. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can live up to those challenges. Coaching is you got to be a psychologist. You got to be a sociologist. You also got to know your X's and O's. You got to be able to deal with the media, the local and the national media. We'll see. I'm all for, one of the things I've always criticized the NBA about is that they tend to use the same coaches over and over and over again. Guys get fired. They all just go to another team. There's constant rehashing of coaches. So I'm glad to see that, they're trying to give someone else new a shot. What I do find interesting, though, is that, the Bulls have been very quiet about their coaching search. It's been a couple weeks now since they got rid of Boylan. And, they haven't made a move yet. So that's still kind of interesting to me. We just keep hearing that they have a lot of interested candidates. But I'd like to see them make an announcement here pretty soon and at least narrow it down, say, hey, we got 3 candidates we're interviewing or whatever. But, I think Nash is, he could probably make a good coach. He was a heck of a ball player.
My issue with it is there are other good coaches out there. And we're talking about Mark Jackson. We're talking about, some other guys, excuse me, the Nate McMillans. These are guys who've done it. All right. To get a guy with no coaching experience, okay, because you are a great point guard, yes, you may have knowledge of the game and have a phenomenal understanding of the game because this is what you had to do because you had to run a team. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean you're a good coach. I'm bothered by this because there are other candidates who are good. This guy has not been a coach on any level, not an assistant sitting on a bench, not a head coach, obviously sitting on a bench, not in the NBA, not in college, not in high school. That bothers me. Mm-hmm. Okay, that bothers me because of the fact that it seems, personally, it seems like, Stephen A. kind of went off on it the other day, and I agreed with him to a point. That's kind of like white privilege. Yeah. Because, we're here in Chicago, and we had that same thing happen with the good guys. Robin Ventura had no managerial experience, none. And he got the gig for 5 years, 5 long, tenuous years. Okay. This is my issue. Now, obviously KD had to have a say in it because that's you're just multi-gazillionaire superstar. Right. But I'm not okay with it to the point because you don't know what he is. So now, your star players, have to sign in on this. What if you get a guy that, like Tom Thibodeau? You need a guy. We don't know what Nash can do. We don't. And I think, Mark Jackson's my guy, and if he gets the knock on him is that he's too honest or he's too blunt for these players. You're grown ass men. Okay. If someone comes down on you, deal with it. Right. And I think that's the issue that I have. And I don't know, man. I'm not feeling the Steve Nash thing because of it. Mm-hmm. And who knows? Steve Nash could be a good coach. He could be a great coach. We don't know. Right. But we don't know. He doesn't have a body of work. Well, they gave Jim Boyd a shot, but how long did Jim Boyd have to sit on a bench?
I agree. And you think about one of the greatest point guards of all time was Magic Johnson. And Magic had no coaching experience. He tried to coach, and it was a freaking disaster. So I do think, unfortunately, people of Steve Nash's status and Magic Johnson's status, they're going to get an opportunity where other people who've been working their butts off in the league as assistants and unfortunately they get bypassed. That's the way it works. I do think it is kind of unfortunate because I know we talk a lot about it, and Coach Irvin talks a lot about giving more people of color chances at these jobs. And it seems as though they get passed over even when they are in line and they have all the credentials. So I do think it's still that is an issue, and I'm glad you did bring that up, Shawn. And especially in a sport like basketball where 80% of the league is African Americans.
Yeah, it just that was just my thing, man. I wasn't, and again, I have nothing against Steve Nash. I like Steve Nash. I thought he was a great player. Was it UC Santa Clara, Santa Barbara, Santa Clara, right?
I can't remember the college.
Santa something. But phenomenal Hall of Fame career, but it doesn't mean you're a good coach. And when you have even if you coached in high school or coached in college, at least you have some type of head coaching, description on your resume. But you got nothing. So it's frustrating. I wonder how he's gonna his management style is gonna mesh with KD and Kyrie, because those are some alpha dogs.
And especially Kyrie,
they got him. Yeah,
especially Kyrie. We know from Kyrie's history, just from the teams he's been on. So it'll be a challenge. He's not with the Bulls, so I won't sweat it too much. He's not with my team. I'm more concerned with what they're going to do over there on Madison.
Yeah, this is true. One of the things I want to ask you about too, we talked a little bit earlier in the show, and I think you chimed in, but I want to hear you talk about is that Roberto Clemente Day, September 9th. So next week, Roberto Clemente, his number has been retired by the Pittsburgh Pirates, number 21. No one's ever worn it since he passed away back in 72, 73. I think it's 73 on Christmas Day when he was on a humanitarian mission to Nicaragua. It's a very popular number in the Latin American community for Latin American baseball players. And so all the Pittsburgh Pirates on that day are going to wear number 21 in his honor, which I think is awesome. And then the great part about it is they're going to be playing the White Sox. It's going to be even more betterer using my higher education that I have, more betterer. So give me your thoughts on the Pirates, all of them wearing number 21 for Roberto Clemente.
I think it's a great gesture. I think it's long overdue that I think Roberto Clemente, they have an award that is named after him. I think
yes.
The humanitarian award, is it from Israel? It's named after. Roberto Clemente is the first Latino player that I learned about as a kid growing up. I was only like 3 or 4 when he died, but when I started reading books at the early age of 6 or 7, he was one of the people in one of the books I was reading about with baseball, along with Jackie Robinson, along with the guy Eddie, the midget, when they did the gimmick and had him playing.
Bill Beck and Soldier Fields.
Right. So, I think, Roberto represents so many people, and the way he died, tragically in that plane accident and on a humanitarian mission. I think, as I noted earlier, I think his number should be retired throughout all of baseball because of what he did for the game and for also what he did off the field with his humanitarian missions. I think his number, along with number 42, should be retired. And I also think number 51 ought to be retired because Ichiro brought so much to the game. He brought Major League Baseball so many fans from, I mean, that impact was huge, similar to Yao Ming, what he did for the NBA. And now you see the NBA is big over in China, and a lot of that was due to Yao Ming. I think, Major League Baseball got huge over in Japan when Ichiro was playing, without a doubt. And Japanese baseball is great too. I got the opportunity to go to a game in Tokyo last year with my wife, which was an incredible experience. But I think, league-wide, they need to retire 21, 42, and 51.
You brought up a great point there, and that's the impact that he had, that Ichiro had, and the best part is that it was on a West Coast team. So it was a team that was closer in time zone to Asia. so people were able to see him. And and should be told, there's a lot of Asian people over on the left coast.
Yes.
And so there was a big population of his people that could see him. And it brought them a whole bunch of fans. And then now there's a lot more of a bigger influx of Japanese baseball players here in America. Tai Shohei from the Angels, and there's just so many other people as well. So it's when you mentioned Ichiro, I had completely forgot about the impact that he had on Major League Baseball. So yeah, I think it's a good thing for Roberto Clemente. It's just if you don't remember, if you don't continue to talk about the past, you'll forget the past. And so many people, like there's a school here in Chicago, Clemente High School, and these kids don't know who he is. I'm sure that it's in the school, but they don't know the impact that he had. And the more you keep it, the more you keep bringing it back to you keep teaching the younger generations about these great players, about the people who laid the groundwork for them to be where they're at. One of my roommate Troy lives in New York City, and we have tons of discussions. We were both only children. We were both sports nuts. We both played football at Holy Cross, and one of the things he said at one time is like, he goes, some of us there's got to be a Jackie Robinson, and everyone else is, Frank Thomas, because that's when Frank Thomas obviously was it. Right. He goes, there's got to be someone that paved the way for later athletes. And, and I think that, Roberto Clemente is one of those guys who paved the way for especially the Caribbean athletes, to get to the point that they got. If you would have told him that the White Sox would have paid Luis Robert $26 million and then had to pay a fine of $26 million, and the kid was 18, 19 years old when they got him, he wouldn't have believed it. He wouldn't have believed it. But because of what he did and because of the way his style of play in his 18 seasons, helped win 2 World Series, 3,000 hits exactly, he led the way, and he paved the way for people like that to get contracts like they got.
Without a doubt. And let's not forget the impact of, our other favorite here on the South Side, Minnie Minoso. What he did for Cuban players. He was, what Minnie did. He brought Luis Tiant. Many Cuban players have come, and when they talked to a lot of the current White Sox players who are Cuban, they were like, the White Sox organization having that connection with
pipeline.
That pipeline is the reason why a lot of them want to come here and play, which is why I was actually kind of shocked they didn't get Yasiel Puig during all season. But yeah, I love Roberto Clemente, his game. Of course, I was too young to see him play, but he lives on in some of the videos and the stories, and he was probably the first Puerto Rican player that was a 5-tool player in Major League Baseball. And just talking to my uncles and everybody, they're like, yeah, he was a beast, and he had a gun for an arm.
Yeah, I was a little young too. I was about 2 as well, because I think he died in '73. It's Christmas Day, so I was 2. And so I as well didn't get to see him play except in videos. And even in videos, what's great that you get to see, Ivan with his crazy hat on, the videos you get to see is how fast he was.
Yeah.
You see the strength that you talk about, his rocket arm. You see that arm, and it was so much. It was so much. It looked thing was in slow motion, except him. That was the crazy, and that's when you're watching someone great, is when I know the game slows down for great players, and they just see everything happening so slowly. You can see a move 2 or 3, moves in advance. But when a fan watches and they see someone just playing at a different speed than everybody else, it's someone special.
And Jason, I was going to ask you if this is kind of comparable, if you see this as a right comparison. But I think it's Luis Robert, because you said like your uncles and stuff, they said talk about his arm, his speed, the athleticism, because I've read up on. I've been Puerto Rican. It's like it's like it's passed down to you to learn about this man. So it's like, from everything I've learned and everything I could watch, all the film that I've been able to find and watch, all I could think about is like hearing about is Luis Robert, right? That for matched up athleticism, like Robert might be a little bigger, you know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? Luba might have some more power, but as far as like pure athleticism, like toe for toe, it sounds like we're talking about Luis Robert when you talk about Roberto Clemente.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a great comparison, Ivan. You know, again, when you watch some of those games of what Roberto Clemente was doing. I mean, okay, so you guys remember when Deion Sanders was playing football and when prime time was in his prime? The other team wouldn't even throw the entire side of the field.
No, he shut it down.
Because he would shut down the entire side of the field passing game. I think with Roberto Clemente, the thing I noticed was those base hits to right field, people wasn't trying to go from first to third. You just stopped them at second base. You know, if you were on second trying to score, you wasn't doing that. Not on him. If the ball's hit to right field, you just chilling. Tagging up on the fly ball, score from third or trying to go from second to third. That wasn't happening with him. You know, I think he was a dominant player, especially in that era. But I think his greatness is that he would have been able to play in any era. And that's how you measure the great ones. Can they play in any era? And that's in anything, whether it's music, whether it's acting, whether it's sports. You know, can you do it in any era? And Roberto Clemente was one of those guys. And, you know, that's not even talking about his hitting. You know, his defense was just so phenomenal. But the dude had 3,000 hits.
Yeah.
That's no easy task. That is no easy task because you get 3,000 hits. That is an automatic ticket. You get punched, you going straight to the Baseball Hall of Fame. So in Cooperstown, and you know what? It was great that he was. You know, we knew he'd get in, but it was just, you know, it's apropos for someone like him because of what he did to that culture. And they said the way that Hispanic and Latino baseball players revere him. This is a person. This is a case where all the reverence that goes to this guy is well deserved. It might even be underdeserved because you just don't understand you may still not. We may not even understand the magnitude of what he did. You know, same thing with Jackie Robinson. You know, for African American players, I think it's a very similar. And he wasn't the first Latino player, but he was probably the biggest because of his success and his ability. It's I think it's going to be a pretty cool deal, and to be at that game, you know, and you know, if you're working a beat, I think it's going to be so wonderful because that's going to be one that, you know, you're definitely going to remember for a long time. Let's talk
you know what I'll be wearing on Wednesday?
Yeah, your Pirates jersey. I know. Let's talk about our good guys, man. So Ray Lopez, he gets sent down to Schaumburg. Is that the last we see of Ray Lopez?
Hopefully. I mean, people flame out, you know, and I think it seems like it's hard for organizations to accept that. But, you know, I am happy that the White Sox this year, they seem to are taking that stance. You know, they did it with Nicky Delmonico. You know, they seem to be doing it for Ray Lopez. They haven't designated him for assignment yet, but that could be a possibility coming up soon. You know, they just sent him down to Hamburg. I mean, you give people opportunities, and you either got to put up or shut up. And he didn't put up, you know, on a consistent basis. So, you know, I'm at that point with Carlos Rodon as well, even though his is more injury as opposed to talent related. Right. But you know, the guy can't stay healthy. He can't stay healthy, man. You can't keep holding up roster spots, man. You only got 26 of them things, man. And you need every roster spot. Those things are precious. You know, what I'm most impressed with the White Sox are not just our potent offense, but Danny Mendick has really stepped in, you know, out of nowhere and been very consistent defensively. He's hitting the ball consistently. He's showing a little power. Adam Engel is consistently hitting the ball. He's playing phenomenal defense as always. You know, I don't think we're giving some of those guys enough credit for what they're doing. You know, Lurie Garcia, before he got injured, you know, he was being typical Lurie, you know, making contact, making plays, giving you hustle, filling in at second base a little bit. So, you know, I think the White Sox are getting that. You know, and just switching over to the Cubs just for 1 second, I'm really concerned about Chris Bryant. You know, you just talked about Roberto Clemente and, you know, what those guys did to pave the way for many players and the salaries these guys are making. Chris Bryant is actually trying to make a point to the Cubs based off of salary with his performance, and I will lose just about all respect I have for Chris Bryant. If he's kind of dogging this because he's upset with the way his contract negotiations went, that would be extremely disappointing for me. So I'm hoping he's just hurt and he's not out there dogging it. But I kind of agree with what Joseph was saying earlier. It just looked like he don't want to be there. That's completely the opposite of what I'm seeing with some of the White Sox players. Those guys out there, they're playing. And let's be honest, the White Sox got a heck of a deal when they signed Robert and Anderson and all these guys, Eloy, to these long-term deals. And I think their value is actually going to be way higher than what their current salaries are.
Yeah, it's a gamble. It's a gamble on both sides. All right, the White Sox saying, okay, listen, we're going to give you X amount. We're gonna overpay you now, and at the end of the contract, if you're going to be underpaid if you live up to expectations. And it looks like these guys are going to live up. I wish I had a crystal ball, because I wish I was Biff and had the almanac. Trust me, but that's another story. But but in the other hand, if these guys flame out, well, then guess what? They're overpaid throughout the whole deal, and the team loses. I guess would be the team doesn't get the value that they paid. So it's a gamble on both parts. Okay, but they see the talent in these certain players, which is why they didn't sign Ray Lopez to a long-term deal.
Mm-hmm.
They signed the young guys who they believe. So it's I don't know. I am again, Rick Hahn, take my hat off to you, sir. You've really constructed this team in a manner that a Yoel Moncada can sit out, 3 days a week if necessary, and it doesn't affect the team as much.
Right.
Just because you just got too many bats in that God blessed lineup, cannon fire from number 88. Dude, here's a question: next year, when fans are let back in, think of all the 88 jerseys. Think of all the 10 jerseys. Think of, you know what I mean? Because how many times you still see the 14 jerseys and the 56 jerseys? And there's no disrespect to Paul Konerko and to Mark Burley by any stretch. All right? You got the younger generation of player and the exciting generation of player. They're so exciting, you want their jerseys.
I got my Robert jersey before
the
season started. Yeah, I bought mine before the season started. And I had to actually get it specially ordered because they didn't have any. And I told the guy, I was like, you do realize this dude is the most popular. I went to the guy, I bought it in Gurney Mills at one of the sports shop. He's like, yeah, we don't have a Robert when he's not like one of the ones they send us. I'm like, well, dude, you better order him.
Did you go
right. Right. So mine had to actually be specially ordered. So it took a week to get it in because they don't have them. And, I checked back up there a couple of weeks ago, and they still, you still can't find Luis's jersey out there like that. I think it's probably gotten better now at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he's phenomenal, man. Just from a marketing standpoint for the White Sox and, them not having fans in the stadium, I know that's hurting their bottom line. They're going to be they should be making a killing right now for paraphernalia with this team.
Yeah. Man, 3 hours has come and gone, dude. I cannot believe it. I want to thank my guest, Joseph Phillips, who comes on every day, 9 to 10 in our top of the morning segments. I want to thank Kenneth Davis for coming on. I also want to thank Jason Palmer. You see him here in the screen. I also want to thank Lauren Cox. I want to send a big shout out to my technical director, Elliot Baez, our social media posting guru himself, Clarence Council. And I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to the man who makes it all run, the man behind the curtain. He is the Wiz. He is my Puerto Rican Swiss Army knife, Ivan Vargas, man. All you guys made it a phenomenal show. Thank you. Gracias for all my Hispanic people. Well, listen, you guys have a phenomenal weekend. We're going to take Monday off. There'll just be a best of playing, but have a great Labor Day weekend. Enjoy yourself. Barbecue till your face falls off. Drink till your face falls off. Just don't drink and drive. There's Uber and Lyft back at it now, so make sure you do that. Be safe and have a great weekend. So for my lovely co-host in absentia, Maya Kai, and my co-host Jason Palmer, you gotta say goodbye here, Jay.
Stay safe. Stay safe.
And the aforementioned Puerto Rican Swiss Army knife himself, Ivan Vargas.
Hey, are either of you guys happy to see Jimmy Butler doing what he's doing? Anybody? Not on our team? Because I'm not.
He's not someone you can build a championship team around. Who cares?
No, he can't. He can't beat the best team in the league. He can't do that. He can't have him at 2-0. No.
Oh, man.
Only the Bulls.
Only the Bulls. That's right. All right, folks. We will see you on Wednesday. Enjoy. Have a great Labor Day weekend, and we will see you then. I got 5 words for you, folks. First 3, download the app. Download the app. And the last 2 words, we out.